Annual Pumpkin Bowl. We're at Goodrich Field here on QCTV Sports. Along with Jim Childs, I'm Jim Erickson. It's a top 10 matchup, a pair of 4-1 teams, Jim, and it's setting up to be a good one. Two teams with different styles on offense.
Yeah, and they may have to replace some light bulbs at the end of this game with just the amount of scoring. Yeah, both teams. One's a hard-running team, which is Centennial. You got to watch out for number 43, Mav Harper, and then Peyton Pedani has been an outstanding quarterback. His second year as a starter is really a great weapon and a good distributor of the football.
Of course, this is a Northwest Suburban Conference. They've been in the section for many years, but they haven't played for the last 3 years because of redistricting. Now they're back in the same district, so it's exciting to see the Centennial Cougars here at Goodrich Field. And, of course, it's the Pumpkin Bowl, and that transcends football. It's so much bigger than just a football game when you talk about the celebration of Halloween here in Anoka.
Yeah, and, that you see the trophy behind us. The black uniforms look great. They've got a Hall of Fame induction tonight with some pretty special people. It's a great night to be here in Anoka. If you can't be here, watch us on QCTV.
4-1 Anoka, 4-1 Centennial, and it's coming up next on QCTV Sports. Back to the fence, and that's gone.
There it is. Ace to win the set. It's caught. 20-10 touchdown.
This is going to be in the gap.
Score! Yes! Score! Go to the deflection. Yes! The Huskies win their first state championship.
The traditional maroon and white has been replaced with black and orange. It's Pumpkin Bowl. It is time to play football. It's week 6 of the high school football season, and it's the 75th annual Pumpkin Bowl with the Anoka Tornadoes hosting the Centennial Cougars. Up in the booth now here along with Jim Childs. I'm Jim Erickson. It's a spooky feeling here. We're still a few weeks away from Halloween, but this is a great way to get all the Halloween activities and celebrations underway here in the Anoka, of course, the Halloween capital of the world, Jim.
Yeah, and you can see right there the student section is into it. This is, it's a special night, and it feels like fall. This is the first football game that actually feels like fall. We're dealing with thunderstorms last weekend. It feels like fall. This is the great as we get to see the Anoka Tornadoes do their tornado march.
Yes, the Centennial Cougars are coming out on the field first. Both teams are 4-1. Both teams are in the top 10. In the rankings in Class 6A, these teams have not played since 2019, and Centennial has won 8 consecutive meetings against the Anoka Tornadoes. They've won 8 in a row. The last time Anoka defeated Centennial was 2011, a 34-27 victory. In fact, that was regular season. They also defeated them in the playoffs in that great state tournament season of 2011 in overtime in the sections, 35-34. But since that section game, Centennial has won 8 in a row against Anoka, and the Tornadoes have been doing some of those things here this year. They've been ending streaks against teams and doing better against some of these teams that they've struggled with recently, and here's a chance for them again to beat a team that this program has not defeated in quite some time.
Yeah, and, Bo Wistrick, who is in his 5th year as a coach at Anoka, boy, easy for me to say. He's done a great job of just changing the culture and getting a different system in here of kind of a run and shoot and, kind of the greatest show on turf type atmosphere. It's fun football, and tonight I think we're in for a high-scoring game.
Anoka's Pumpkin Bowl record unofficially 45-27-1. Best place to go and find all the results and all the games in the record is right there at center field at the 50-yard line. I think we've had a couple of shots of it. The Pumpkin Bowl trophy, and Centennial playing for it for the first time since 2015. That's the last time it was Centennial and Anoka here in the Pumpkin Bowl, and Centennial won that one, part of that 8-game winning streak, 27-0. And the Tornadoes won last year, Jim, so they're trying to hold on to that trophy.
Yeah, they have. And, the longest win streak they've had is...
Actually, they lost to White Bear Lake.
Yeah, they lost 45-20 to White Bear Lake, but they have an 11-game winning streak. That's the longest that they've had. And then from 96 to 2002, they had a 7-game losing streak. But that is all in the past right now. And this Tornadoes team They are in a different class. They're in the upper tier right now in 6A, which means they're playing much tougher opponents, and they're winning. That's the great part. They both lost to Maple Grove, Jim, and both giving up 200 yards to a really solid running back over at Maple Grove, Charles Lagamo.
Yeah, that was 42-19 against Maple Grove, and Centennial's only loss also was to Maple Grove, 41-28. The other teams have basically flip-flopped victories against other teams. Centennial's beaten Coon Rapids, Blaine, St. Michael, and Osseo. Anoka's defeated Champlain Park, St. Michael, Albertville, Blaine, and then last week at Coon Rapids, that game that was called on Friday night after the first drive, during the first drive, and then they turned around and finished it on Saturday. Meanwhile, Centennial's game, they called it at halftime. 35-0 was the score at half, and it was an official game at half, 35-zip over Osseo. Here comes the Tornado Walk. Wearing the black uniforms here tonight, special for Pumpkin Bowl only. And certainly a different look. No maroon, no white, other than the white and the black. Intimidating, as they say, those black uniforms.
I think they took that. They've got a little spud color going, and Moorhead Spuds will.
Well, of course you would see that.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I might say Ogilvy Lions too, up in my neck of the woods.
Yes, yep.
They're orange and black, and both teams out on the field now. We're going to get the national anthem here tonight, and then we'll get this game underway here from historic Goodrich Field on the turf in Anoka, next to Fred Moore Middle School. The band here tonight, and a big halftime planned as well, including the Hall of Fame inductions.
I taught for 20 years, but I started forgetting my lectures. Eventually, he had to quit. My therapist recommended we go to the doctor.
The early Alzheimer's diagnosis allowed us to take control of the situation.
He's been such a positive force and so loving. Thank you. You're welcome.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
As Americans, there's one thing we can all agree on: the promise of our Constitution and the hope that liberty and justice is for all people. For over 100 years, the ACLU has fought on behalf of millions of Americans, protecting our vote and our voice, freedom to love who we love, the right to choose, and much more.
Learn how ACLU's defending free speech and all our civil liberties at myaclu.org.
I had to leave my baby in the hospital NICU.
If we come together, we can help every mom and baby be healthy and strong.
Join March for Babies, a mother of a movement.
Oh.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Back at Goodrich Field and Pumpkin Bowl 2024, along with Jim Childs, I'm Jim Erickson. And these teams moving into week number 6. Centennial coming off that 35-0 win over Osseo for their homecoming, and the Anoka Tornadoes that win at Coon Rapids. Back and forth game between those teams at Coon Rapids. First time in, I think it was 3 years also there, that Anoka had played Coon Rapids. 33-27 was that final score. And as we mentioned, Coon Rapids got the ball to start the game. They marched down to the 1-yard line. In came the storm, and they stopped the game right there and then resumed it on Saturday morning, Jim.
Yeah, and to be honest, Centennial, the only passing team that they've gone against this season is Coon Rapids, and Coon Rapids ended up racking up over 300 yards of passing offense. They also got picked off 4 times. So turnovers will be a big part of this. Centennial's good at hanging on to that ball.
Yeah, talking to Coach Mike Diggins, getting some information from him. He says they haven't played their best football yet for Centennial. They're looking for their first complete game. They said their defense has been a work in progress. They've battled injuries, and they called Anoka's offense special. Meanwhile, Coach Bo Wasurik talks about the importance of stopping Centennial's running game, and he believes his offense is very hard to prepare for because they can air it out with Podani and his receivers. He's completed passes to 11 different receivers, but they can also control the ball on the ground. So we'll see how that matches up here tonight, Jim.
Yep. As we're going to get ready to kick off with Fraze.
Caston Fraze will be the kicker. You see the Centennial Cougars. They are in the white uniforms. And a couple of Tornadoes ready back to receive, and it'll be Kamari Hibbler. He'll take it at the 6-yard line. Hibbler. Return out across the 20, far side of the field to the sideline, and they'll mark it down at the 22, and we'll see the Anoka Tornadoes on the field offensively here for the first time, and there's head coach Bo Wasurik.
Coming here from Jordan, Minnesota. He was there for 3 years. Racked up 2 state tournament bursts, 25-11 since he's been here. However, he's 4-1 this year, 13-26 overall.
And he has done a fantastic job. And of course, former tight end was on the roster and played as a tight end with the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers, and a native of Texas, right, Jim? Where he played his high school football.
Yeah, he actually coached down there for 6 years.
That was it.
He was the offensive coordinator at Flower Mound.
Talk about Friday Night Lights. From the 22-yard line, Podani, the quarterback, will fire it far side. It's caught close to a first down to Efe Abekwe, who came in here tonight with 23 receptions, 5 touchdowns, 350 yards receiving, and he is one of his favorite targets for Peyton Podani. Podani, 96 completions, 172 attempts, 1,193 yards, 11 touchdowns, 6 picks. He swings it out here to the near side, and that'll be caught by Evan Frecking, coming in with 13 receptions. And Podani likes to spread the ball around. He's got a couple of favorite receivers, 2 receivers leading the team here this season. Abekwe's got 23, Borchers is 23. But like I said, I think before, he has thrown passes to 11 different receivers who have catches here this season.
Yeah, and I tell you what, they're missing Eli Paulson, who graduated last year, another Division I receiver. But he's great at being able to get that ball away.
2nd down and 8. Podani on the ground for the first time, and the Centennial defense will show their stoutness on defense with a stop right up the gut. And that was Melvin Wallace, the defensive tackle, leading the charge. Loss of a yard, now 3rd and long for the Tornadoes. Opening drive of the game here for Pumpkin Bowl.
Yeah, Wallace, you're gonna say his name a lot of times. This is his 2nd year of playing football. He's from Liberia, just a true monster in the middle.
So 3rd down and 9. Tornadoes from their 39-yard line. Podani rolling against his body, pressured from the backside, and that pass is going to be high and incomplete as he tried to throw it out to Carson Ban, a double-digit receiver. 14 receptions on the season, over his head though, incomplete, and it's 4th down and 9.
Yeah, that's not an easy pass. You're rolling to your right, and the defense knows that you can't throw back, so you're limiting yourself where you're at. You've got to be perfect on that throw. That one just sailed a little high.
So the Tornadoes will punt. Their punter is Evan Frecking. And their punt returner for Centennial, Will Quick, standing at about his 28-yard line. Here's the Frecking kick, kind of that side winder rugby style kick. It was low, but it will take an Anoka bounce and a roll inside the 30, the 28, and we'll see the Centennial offense for the first time. And that Centennial defense for Coach Mike Diggins, he said they were a work in progress. They do a good job, and after giving up a first down, they were able to force the punt.
Yeah, and you saw the big play was staying on schedule. So they go to a 2nd and 8, and then they get off schedule with that Wallace tackle for loss. And boy, he's had a lot of them. He's had 6 sacks and 6 tackles for losses. Really a solid guy, and he just threw him off schedule.
Dalen Cummings leads his team out onto the field. The starting quarterback here for the Centennial Cougars, a 3rd-year starter out of the I formation. Much more of a traditional football, old school kind of set, without the spread, without the pistol, out of the I with the wing or tight end, and then 1 wide receiver or split end, and they pick up 3 on that first down play. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, you're going to see Mav Harper, number 43. He's going to carry the ball in between the tackles a lot. They'll have some motion and some jets, some jet sweeps, but it's going to be all on Mav Harper in the middle there.
Ty Burgoon is the other back. He's the I back. Harper gets the handoff here, and it fumbled. Never had it. He lost it, and Anoka recovers at the Centennial 40-yard line. I don't know if Maverick Harper ever had that one secure, and actually probably hit his thigh, and he kicked it forward, and the Tornadoes recover, and they'll have it first down and 10 there in business. Looked like Luke Alexander with the recovery.
Yeah, and it looks like it might have been punched out by one of the linebackers. Goes right to as you said, Alexander, he snuck it up real quick. Not a lot of turnovers so far for Centennial. They've only given it away 4 times this year. Now 5.
Far hash mark, 1st and 10. Anoka's second possession. They get the first big break here, and excellent starting field position for Peyton Podani, the junior quarterback. Pump fake, goes deep and down the sideline, incomplete for a Beckway. Mentioned 23 receptions coming in, 350 yards, 5 touchdowns. Kind of hesitated there. He had to adjust to the ball, and it's off his hands and incomplete.
Yeah, starting lineups up front: Mason Brent, Grayson Salian, Logan Burns, Andrew Kritz, and Max Knudsen. The tight end is PJ Worswick. We've got Trey Borchers, Ban Beckway, and in the backfield will be Terrell Cummings, and we've talked about Podani a lot. That one just missed. He put a little air under it. Need to put a little bit more distance on it.
Cummings in the backfield here with Podani. 2nd down and 10. They give it to Cummings, makes a nice cut at the line of scrimmage, and he fights his way inside the Centennial 35 to the 34, and a nice pickup there of 6. 3rd and 4.
Yeah. Cummings is kind of that really kind of a scat back. He can make some strong cuts, lateral movements. Good back.
3rd and 4. Podani rolling towards us. Again, that backside pressure. He feels it, still running, and he's going to end up running out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up another 4th down here for the Tornadoes.
Zone coverage right now by Centennial, the Cougars, and they're looking at or watching the quarterback, and they're moving with him as he moves to that side. He's just limiting his field and keeping out of harm's way as far as the rush goes, but unable to connect on any wide receiver.
4th and 5. Podani a week ago, just 106 yards passing. Throws this one. It's a slant. It's caught. And that's enough for a first down to the 26-yard line. Carson Ban the catch, and they move the sticks on a 4th down conversion.
Yeah, excellent. It was just a slant right up the middle, and they're going with tempo right now.
Yeah, no huddle, right up to the line, and the handoff this time is at Ethan Mossman. Getting the carry here, number 22, the junior 185-pound running back with a touchdown rushing this season. Gains a couple there, 2nd down. Give him 3, 2nd and 7. Trey Borchers moves over to the wing. Podani looking all the way deep, far side, end zone, and it's broken up. Ibekwe was the intended receiver, and it was looked like it was off the defender, then off Ibekwe, and it falls incomplete.
Will Clark was beaten on that. He made up some speed right there. He's got him, and Will Clark right there with just a touch of that ball.
Just enough.
And breaks it up. It'll be 3rd and 7.
3rd down. Long 8, short 7 here for the Tornadoes. Padani again. Rolling, chased, goes underneath with a dump off, and that's going to go nowhere with Brody Rush, who is a freshman that came out of nowhere. Now here's a flag. They may say that they threw him down and might be unnecessary roughness or something here. That flag was thrown down emphatically by the official. And we'll see what the call is here. He was tackled in the backfield. Would have been a loss.
Yeah, I think they're going to talk about it. He is a runner at that time. And I don't know if they're going to call unnecessary roughness or
was it
not.
On the tackle on Rush?
Yeah.
Yep, unsportsmanlike conduct is going to be the call against Centennial. So a big break there for Anoka. That will get them the first down and 15 yards. By the way, our officials tonight, our down judge is Chris Tengwall. Nick Litfin is the back judge. Aaron Nordling, the line judge, and the referee, Tim Litfin.
Yeah, so you can see right there, I think that was Whiting who stood over and said something down to.
So it was taunting,
it
not
was
so much the tackle.
Yep.
It was taunting, and the ball now down to the 14-yard line. First down and 10. Tornadoes in business. We're scoreless. And the handoff goes to Cummings, the running back, and he gets to the second level and bounces his way inside the 10 to the 9. Gains 6 there.
Yeah, really nice job by Cummings. Able to get through that line, and again, he's got some cutback ability. He got right through the line and then was able to avoid a couple of the linebackers. Good game.
7.5 left to go. First quarter, second possession of the game. It started at the 40-yard line after a Mav Harper fumble gave Anoka good field position on a short field. And they've got it second down. We'll call it 5 here. Just inside the 10. Play action. Padani rolling, being chased, and he throws it low, and it is incomplete. Centennial's defender, Luke Metcalf, the linebacker, coming in on pressure.
I tell you what, I really like what Centennial is doing. They are forcing Padani to get rid of the ball a lot quicker than what he wants to. And, the pressure up front is outstanding.
Clock stopped with 7:05 left to go. Terrell Cummings in the backfield, 308 yards rushing. He leads the Tornadoes in rushing yards. He's in the backfield here along with Podani. And again, Podani, 1,193 yards passing on the season. He swings it out to Ibekwe, who catches it. They should give him forward progress for a first down. I think they are, down to about the 3-yard line.
That was just a great back shoulder throw. That's something that you work on in practice. And Podani with a nice job of being able to throw. They're going to go Wildcat here.
Podani, number 1 in the state in completions with 96. He's over 100 now. It's first and goal at the 3. And they will go Wildcat. Deshane is in. He'll get the direct snap with 2 backs with him. They did not run this against Maple Grove, the other game that I saw of theirs, and they toss it. Deshane gives it up on the left side to the pylon. Zach Welch, touchdown Tornadoes, and they're on the board for the Pumpkin Bowl.
Yeah, great play call. And Deshane, he was the backup quarterback, knew exactly what to do. He could have kept it himself. He's a middle linebacker and not afraid of contact. Gets it over to Welch, and Welch scores the touchdown.
So Welch with the touchdown run. That's his second touchdown of the season rushing. And it's 6-0 Tornadoes, and they'll go for the point after. Veronica Moran does the kicking. And here is her kick. It is up, and that is good. She's done a good job on field goals and point afters, and she puts that one through, and it is 7-0 Anoka.
Here, see right here, quick pitch over to Welch, and lead blocker out there. It really went well. That was Cummings, along with Duchesne. Duchesne got out there and got his nose into some contact. Good play call. Tornadoes on the board.
So key to get on the board first. Tornadoes fell behind against Coon Rapids last week, and they were able to battle back and win that game 33-27. It's a back and forth game. Pedani had 4 interceptions in that game. Coon Rapids could not use that to their advantage enough to get the victory. Pedani, number 5 in the state in yards. Just under, he's over 1,200 now. But he's had games of 296, 270, 253, and 268, but was held to just 106 yards last week by the Coon Rapids defense.
Consistency is the key, and the winning. The win is the most important piece, and they were able to get the win. And looks like they're committed to the run a little bit more. They've got 6 rushes so far today.
Veronica Moran does the point after and field goal kicking. This is Luke Duchesne, who does the kicking off from the 40-yard line. Here for the Anoka Tornadoes, Ty Burgoon is back as the return man, and he'll let it bounce at the 15, scoops it up 13 yards, and he has a seam. Finds his way across the 30 to the 31-yard line, and Centennial down 7-0. Cougars at 4-1 on the season will get going here with their second possession of the game.
Veronica Moran, captain of the soccer team for Anoka. They also, by the way, she's also coming off an ACL from last year, and pretty impressive athlete.
Maverick Harper wears number 43. Speaking of injuries, he was injured in week 2 last year for Centennial. So he came back with something to prove, certainly. Number 43, the senior running back, coming in with 625 yards, and of course fumbled on that previous play. Here's a little razzle-dazzle. Burgoon try a little toss. Now he reverses field and will struggle to get back to the original line of scrimmage in the wide side of the field. He's tackled there by Zach Welch, who scored the touchdown just moments ago, as Anoka able to string that out. Good speed on defense here for the Tornadoes, as they would not get beat on what turned out to be a misdirection play, as Harper's going to have to come out here. I know it looks like an equipment issue.
Yeah, there's an Anoka Tornado down too. I think that's
yes.
Welch. Yeah.
Welch, who made the tackle. 2nd down and 11, loss of a yard on that play. There you see the Pumpkin Bowl trophy. I should have, and I didn't want to lift the trophy. I wanted to see how heavy it was when we were down there. But I also didn't want to, if that was sacrilegious or not. If you have to be authorized to be able to touch a trophy as prestigious as that. I didn't want to break any protocols.
Yes, well,
the only person, once that trophy is placed on that podium and that table, the next person to touch it or lift it has to be the winning team.
You're right.
And I think we would, if I would have grabbed it and lifted it up, even if just for an inch, I think it would have broke all of those rules. Yeah. And they probably would have never let me here at Goodrich Field again. So,
well, we are a winning team, but not the winning team, right?
Good one, Jim.
Yeah.
I haven't won anything in my life. I've never won anything.
Well, you'd beat me in golf. So if we played. I also heard that if you picked it up, there's a good possibility parts may come off from what I've.
It's that old.
Yes.
Well, that's good. Keep the old trophy. Welch is up. Looks like he's going to be able to walk back under his own power. It's possible maybe he just had the wind knocked out of him and doesn't seem to be walking with any difficulty or anything as he heads back to the Anoka sideline here with 5:58 left. We're in the first quarter. Anoka taking advantage of a fumble and going 40 yards for that touchdown scored by that man right there, number 16, Welch. Zach Welch. Second and 11 from the 31. I formation, handoff, tailback Burgoon. And Burgoon has room and speed. And he almost sprung that one and went the distance. He is tackled at the 45-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle by Centennial's Charlie Augustin. If he doesn't chase him down, or excuse me, Anoka's number 36, that would be Cooper Baki. If he doesn't chase him down right there. Great closing speed there by 36 for Anoka. First down and 10 from the 45. They keep it on the ground. What else here for Centennial? They're a ground and pound offense. Good first down pickup here of 5 yards.
Yeah, that was Harper again. Harper in between the tackles. He's going to take it almost a majority of the time in between the tackles, and then you give it to the speedsters on the outside, like we just saw with Burgoon.
Yep, Ty Burgoon came in with 300 yards rushing and a touchdown. Almost had a long one there. 2nd and 5. This is a first down. And now smash mouth offensive football here for Centennial as they're featuring their running backs, and that's Maverick Harper averaging 6.4 a crack coming into tonight, and he gets Centennial a first down.
Yeah, he's got a little of that Mike Allstott feeling of just being able to get in and make contact and fall forward.
1st and 10. And it's Harper again. He leans forward, always getting positive yardage to the 29-yard line. And a gain of 3.
So coming in, Harper had been the lead back. He's averaging almost 20 carries a game. And you're seeing right there, the punishment he takes is pretty impressive.
Workhorse is a word that would come to mind as he takes another handoff, running downhill, and that quick dive play. And the offensive line is getting off the ball here really nicely for the Centennial Cougars here tonight.
Yeah, you're gonna see Alex Johnson, Trenton Campbell, Alex Larkin, the 3 in the middle. They average like 250.
3rd and 3. That's going to be another first down. This time it's the quarterback, Cummings, who can run as well. Cummings on the season, 281 yards rushing, 6.1 yards a carry, and a rushing touchdown. And right now the Cougars systematically here on offense moving the ball against the Anoka defense. From the 22, Centennial down by a score out of the eye. And it goes to Harper again. And again running downhill, first down. He's gaining 5-6 yards a crack here, Maverick Harper is.
He's not getting any contact either till about 4 yards. So that offensive line has got just an unbelievable push right now. They are dominating the line of scrimmage.
2nd down, 5. Cougars inside the Anoka 20-yard line, inside Anoka territory for the first time tonight. And the quarterback Cummings, and there was some movement on the offensive line and the Tornadoes defensive line. They were pointing across the line of scrimmage. And we get a whistle and a flag. And it will be false start offense, 5-yard mark off here against Centennial.
It looked like Cummings had a cadence that he was going to try to get the Tornadoes to jump, and he got his own guy to jump on it.
That's always unfortunate.
Yeah.
Centennial has been to the state tournament 5 times. They were in the state tournament last year. Again, in 6A, if you win your first 2 games and you get to the final 8, that's technically a state tournament berth. They went to state in 2019 and 2022 last year. Lost to Rosemont in the quarterfinals. Rosemont, the eventual runners-up to Maple Grove a year ago. And again, both of these teams are lone losses against Maple Grove here this season, and the Cougars are going to be forced to call a timeout here. For head coach Mike Diggins, in his 14th season, he's coached in the program for 33 years. He said, he was quoted after the game against Osseo, he said in his 33 years he's never had a game suspended like that. At halftime, 35-0, but both teams, both coaches, both administrations decided with the storms and everything, the scheduling and the lack of officials too was a big concern for all those games on Friday that had to be suspended. They decided that at 35-0 at half, we'll just call it official. It's an official game, and it went down 35-0.
Yeah, it is uncommon. As I talked to one of the coaches for Centennial, one thing he said is, we were just going to play our JV guys anyway in the second half.
Yeah.
He said, but Osseo had been beat up and also had another JV game coming up, and they said, hey, listen, let's just call it good.
I was up at Brainerd for Alexandria Brainerd. That had a 30-minute lightning delay in the third quarter. Then we resumed, and then the storms got stronger, and with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter and Alexandria up by 14 points, they also called the game and made it official at that point. Second down and 10 here for Cummings. Here's the give on the right side. Good hole here for Whiting. He's to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. Marcus Whiting, 5th rushing touchdown of the season. And Centennial has answered. 23-yard run.
Well, that was just right off tackle, and Marcus Whiting, who his first carry of the day, and has no problem jumping through that off tackle on the right side, and it gets in, slips. Safety had him by shoelaces and able to get out of that tackle.
Well,
track meets on.
Yeah, the Cougars answer. Caston Frace is the point after and place kicker, and he booms it through. He's 19 for 19 in points after here this season. You see that run right there. And again, the blocking at the point of attack has been so good for Centennial that these backs are getting to the second level here against this Anoka defense. And that time Whiting got to the second level. Then he found a seam and turned on that speed to get to the end zone on a 23-yard gallop, and we're all tied at 7.
Yeah, it goes back to the fact of turnovers, and when you have value to the possession of the ball, you have good things will happen to you. Centennial fumbles on the first one. They got an easy first down. They fumbled in their first drive, turned it over, short field for Anoka, touchdown, and now they get it and they run it straight down. No thought of passing. There wasn't a drop back at all.
No, why do it? I mean, the way their offensive line is playing and the kind of charge they're getting off the ball, and their running backs averaging 5-6 yards a carry. Why put the ball in the air? So a Frace to kick it off, and he booms it deep, and Hibbler takes it inside the 10, 20, 25, far sideline 30, cuts it back to the middle, and almost made it out to the 40. Nice return by Hibbler, and respectable starting field position here for the Anoka Tornadoes in a tied Pumpkin Bowl.
Yeah, really nice job. Nice blocking on the far side there. And Nibbler's a little frustrated he wasn't able to cut it back and break it, but another good starting position for the Tornadoes.
You said there might be an issue with light bulbs in the scoreboard here tonight, so we'll see. You know, really, Anoka was stopped by Centennial on the first drive, then Centennial kind of stopped themselves with the fumble.
Yep.
Now let's see what kind of answer the Tornadoes have. 4-1 on the season. Both teams 4-1 in the Metro North, the realigned Metro North District, with now all the Anoka Hennepin schools in the same district. This was a bad snap on the ground, and Padani did a nice job improvising. Gets it across the 40 to the 41, making something out of nothing, lemonade out of lemons, whatever you want to say there. He picks up 3.
Well, he did a great job of getting Cummings out in front of him to be a lead blocker, and Cummings took off, and Padani was right behind him.
4 wide receivers, 3 here to the near side. And the lone back for Anoka will be Terrell Cummings.
You know, Jim, I like that Trey Boychers, watching him, that junior, number 8. Really solid receiver, attacks that ball.
2nd and 7, rolling Padani. And now he'll tuck it and run. 40, 45. He's going to gain 4 at the appears, but good coverage downfield.
Oh, yeah.
That's a couple of times now that Padani's been looking, and that is the strength of Peyton Padani. He's a pass-first guy. If he ends up scrambling and running, that means nobody's open, because he's going to pass and create plays and going to wait until the last moment. If he can't throw it, if everybody's covered, he's going to have to tuck it and scramble, and did gain a couple. It's 3rd and 3. He gained 4 officially. Padani to throw on 3rd down, and on a back shoulder throw, it's caught by Borchers, the guy you just highlighted, Jim, and he's into Centennial territory at the 44.
Yeah, again, catches the ball with his hands. It comes back to it on that back shoulder and leans forward for another one. Great, really nice pass by Padani, and Good catch by Borchers.
Borchers at 439 yards receiving coming into tonight with 4 touchdowns. First down and 10. Padani again having to scramble, steps up, and now pressured, is surrounded and sacked. Actually, it won't go as a sack, as it'll be at the line of scrimmage. I think if you don't gain anything, it's a sack. If you gain at least a half a yard or get across the line of scrimmage, it's not a sack. This will probably go down as a sack, but that's all just,
The
just vocabulary now,
Yeah.
and statisticians kind of stuff at second down and 10.
Again, good rush, and these 3 down linemen, O'Shea, Wallace, and Whiting, all very, very solid and attacking as defensive linemen.
2 receivers left, 2 right. Second and 10 for Anoka. Padani, little high snap. He'll give it to Mossman as he's to the 40-yard line. Anoka running it for a gain of 4, 3rd and 6. And that's one thing Anoka will do. They favor the pass, but they can run to help control the clock. And they can also do a good job with the run to kind of keep the defense honest. We've played one here, Pumpkin Bowl 2023, tied at 7 on QCTV.
Game Sharks, a show about video games, has a brand new episode on QCTV. Hey, in this episode we're chatting about Bethesda's Starfield. This space RPG has plunged the gaming world into warp speed, and we have some thoughts. Join Jimmy and myself as we share our hot takes each month on Game Sharks. Hey, be sure to subscribe to QCTV's YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you out there in the galaxy.
Week 6 of the high school football season. It goes so fast. We'll get ready for the second quarter and then take a look at those 6A rankings. Last night, Eden Prairie beat Minnetonka at Minnetonka, 1-3. And then you see our 2 teams here tonight. Maple Grove, number 5, Anoka at number 9. Anoka was at 8 when they played Maple Grove. Actually higher than that, weren't they? Weren't they 6 when they played Maple Grove? But Maple Grove was 8 in that game here at Anoka. It was homecoming and ended up being 42-19. Lungama, the running back, who's been running over everybody. He's very similar in running style to Maverick Harper. Maybe Lungama a little bit faster and a little speedier, but he was a load to bring down for the Anoka defense. And they had struggles against Harper in that previous touchdown drive for Centennial. We just had an incomplete pass from Podani, brings up another 4th down. They converted 4th down earlier. This is 4th down, 6. Centennial 40-yard line. Podani rolls, gets some good pass blocking, throws it to the near side, to the sideline, and it is caught. Oh my, Carson Ban with a catch. It looked like he might have been bobbling it, but the official was right there. He called it a good catch. We'll get the replay on it, but another 4th down conversion.
Yeah, and that whole play was set up. You see right there. Yeah, great catch. Right, that's a helmet catch.
Yeah.
Cummings with an outstanding block on a blitzing linebacker to give Padani that time. Great job by that running back.
20-yard pickup. 1st and 10. Yeah, he had control of the ball. It was right up against his helmet, and that counts. Cummings, and to about the 15-yard line, gain of 5. Nice carry there by Terrell Cummings. Of course, on the other side, Centennial has Dalen Cummings on the quarterback side. I don't believe there is any relation there, but Anoka's Cummings here picks up 4.
Yeah, just a great job of being able to step in there in the middle, in between the tackles. Not a big in stature, but able to get 5 yards.
Mossman in the backfield. Play action. Podani fakes to him. He's got all kinds of time. Can't find anybody open. Now he's going to roll. Now he's going to run. He's got one man to beat, and he does. He's to the 10 and out of bounds at the sticks. That'll be a first down. Good job by Padani. He needed to make one man miss, and he did, and he scrambles with his feet to get a first down.
Well, he came in with 18 carries, negative 34 yards, which they add the sacks into that rushing. But really, he has done a great job with his feet on this drive. And you can see right now, rolling out to the right and getting that first down.
Yeah, got just inside the 10, so it's first and goal. Ball resting right on the 10-yard line.
Beckway near side.
We'll take and keep a look at him. Keep an eye on him. Padani loves to go to him. He bobbled the snap. He's going to try and scramble again. He throws as he's going down. And it's incomplete. Luke Metcalf was all over him after that bobbled snap. Second and goal.
And no intentional grounding as P.J. Wostrak was right in the area. How he got that away, I don't know, but that's really fortunate for Padani to get it away.
Second and goal. Ball is actually resting outside the 10. So they actually, even though it's second and goal, have to technically go longer than 10 yards, Jim. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know.
Because it was an incomplete pass, and maybe that's what the officials are talking about, the placement of the ball. I noticed that as I was looking
that's a good eye.
At it. That's why I bring binoculars. What did he just say? I think our officials are mic'd up, are they not? Thought I heard him say something. Maybe it's a time issue. He's looking at the clock. We're being told that the ref mics broke from the storm. I don't know if they took a lightning strike or they were submerged underwater. Second and goal for Padani. Long cadence. Got the orange sleeves. Hand off Mossman. Puts his shoulders in, his helmet down, and second effort. Looked like he was going to be stopped shy of the 5 at the 6. Got an extra yard. Bring up third and goal at the 5-yard line.
Good hard running in between there for the junior, the 5'9", 185. He's a short yardage guy, and he really got a nice, and I think there's a little tush push on there.
That they're using that term now.
Yeah,
I heard the Mannings on the Manning cast talking about that because that's Philadelphia's big play as the big center Logan Burns. Here comes third and goal from the 5-yard line. Padani rolling, throwing, deflected, intercepted. And Centennial will be downed in the end zone, and Anoka with a turnover. This time a deflected pass, and in the end zone it's picked. And the Cougars will take over. They'll have first down and 10 at the 20-yard line with Owen Ringen, the safety, right there. Saw the ball all the way, and he collects it in, and Anoka is stopped inside the 10.
Yeah, Padani was going for Troy Borchers. Tried to throw it high and just tipped. And there's a turnover now, 1 for 1 on give takes for both teams.
Second quarter, 9:45 remaining. You see the Centennial Cougars huddling up as they'll come back out on the field. Harper this season, number 43, has had a big game here so far. He had 356 yards rushing his last 2 games with 7 touchdowns. 170 against Coon Rapids, 186 against Blaine. And on first down and 10, not much this time around. I shouldn't say the last 2 games for Harper because last week in the shortened game played just a half. He had 80 yards. But in the other 2 games here prior to that for Centennial, before that it was St. Michael Albertville. Then the 2 games against Blaine and Maple Grove he combined for 356. That's not a bad 2-game stretch.
Not too bad. It's adequate.
Second down, 8. And again, going downhill, that Centennial running game. This time it's Burgoon. It's a good 1-2 punch because you got Harper and then whoever they put at the tailback. Harper's running hard, and then they get a little more speed from that tailback position. But now third down, and Anoka stopped him shy, 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and the blocking scheme's a little different, as it's almost like a counter in its sweep as Burgoon gets to the outside.
Cummings getting the play. 2 tight ends. One split out on the left side. Here and under center is the quarterback Cummings. Third-year starter. Harper, first down. Spins his way off of first contact and is able again to get positive and extra yardage. Anoka's Luke DeShane was in there to make the tackle, make initial contact, but not before a Centennial first down.
Again, right over the guard. 5 yards.
1st and 10 Centennial. Trying to put a drive together. This is Burgoon. He's across the 30 to the 37-yard line. Making contact for the Tornadoes was Ian Whittick. And it's a gain of 5, 2nd and 5.
I haven't seen Cummings yet take off with the ball, with the exception of one.
No, we haven't had any quarterback design runs, really, have we? There was the one, but that's been it. Here he's rolling. He's going to pass for the first time. And running for his life, he throws it towards the turf, and I think we got a catch on the shoe tops. And that was Harper. He made the catch, and that picks up a first down. He threw that one right to his shoes, and somehow Harper made the catch on it.
Well, he had Welch chasing him, and like you said, he was running for his life. And Harper shows off some true athleticism.
Yeah,
really
it wasn't
a nice
quite
catch.
as low as I thought. It was more at the knees there. We want to see the replay. First down from the 45. Cummings, Harper off left tackle. And again, it takes a couple of guys to bring him down. Among those there for Anoka, once again, Luke DeShane, who has had his, as a linebacker, he has had his work cut out trying to tackle this Maverick Harper at 190 pounds, 5'10". He looks bigger than that.
He certainly does. He looks like he looks like a man amongst boys out there right now.
So 2nd and 5. Burgoon in the backfield along with Harper here for the Cougars. Under 7 minutes left to go in the first half. Cummings, Harper, dive, shy of the first down. Give them 3. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2.
That's 11th carry right now for Harper, far and away the most. Burgoon's got 4 carries and he's second, but you can see how they weigh heavily on Mav Harper.
Josh Lee is the lone split end wide receiver here, bottom of your screen. 3rd down. And that is a first down. Right at the 45. It should be enough as Harper takes it again, the workhorse here for the Centennial Cougars. First down.
Methodical drives. I mean, you think about this has been a 4.5 minute drive, and they're using tempo. You know, they're not huddling up. This is going. It's just methodical.
First down and 10. Burgoon this time tries to bounce it outside, and the Tornadoes are ready for them. Making the stop was Wyatt Rothram, who made contact. Then he got some help. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. And that's what Anoka needs to do. They need to force 2nd and long, 3rd and long here to try and slow down the Centennial running game. Maybe force them to pass, which isn't their strength, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, get them off schedule. I mean, you know they're in 4-down territory right now because they're past the 50. We'll see where they go. There's Mav Harper.
2nd down, it's Harper again, and only 2. He was tripped up right at the line of scrimmage for the Anoka Tornadoes. Carter Nabosny, the defensive end, dove in there, got him at the ankles. 3rd and long.
Yeah, this is a big play right now. If you can stuff them again and make it 4th and 6, it makes it really, really tough on that offense to come up with a play that can get that 6 yards.
We talked about the potential of a high-scoring game. It's not looking that way now because Centennial and the offense is taking so much time off the clock. Just 5 minutes left to go in the first half. 3rd down. Here's Cummings with the pitch and the option. He's got Burgoon, and he's got a first down. He's down to the 20-yard line. 23-yard gain as they went to the option, and it converts on 3rd and long.
And really the first time we've seen, and Burgoon's down right now. Not a good sign. He's looks like he's in some pain. they pull it out of the fullback, and it's not Harper there. Able to pitch it to Burgoon.
That's the old triple option there.
Yep.
Fake to the fullback or ride his belly. That's an option. Quarterback has the option to run. Instead, he pitches it to Burgoon. It's a great read by the quarterback, and he saw plenty of room there on their right side, and they get the 22-yard pickup.
Now Marcus Whiting is in there. I wonder if anything happened to Harper.
Yeah, he is down on his back. 4:36 left to go in the first half. Don't go anywhere during halftime. The pomp, the circumstance, the pageantry of the Pumpkin Bowl coming up at halftime. We'll cover that for you. The Hall of Fame induction, plus the entertainment, the marching band, and so much more. Jim will be out there. You're doing a pumpkin carving a demonstration, right? It's
with a chainsaw.
Yes.
So
impressive. And you're using the big one, right?
Yes.
The guy here in Anoka who grows all the big ones. They'll be rolling that out here on a trailer.
Yep.
And what will you be carving for us tonight? What form will this pumpkin be taking?
I have been thinking about it a long time, and I'm going to try to make a tornado out of it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest, all the talk Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Well,
is she or is she not coming to U.S. Bank Stadium? If you were to carve her likeness in the pumpkin, that might be enough to get her to come here on Sunday.
Yeah, well, she'll have to shake it off because
she's going to have to go away disappointed.
Yes,
you're saying?
Yes. She'll have to shake it off.
Yeah.
Whiting's. Burgoon is up. He jogged off.
That's a good sign.
Yes. Scores from the area. Champlin Park up 21-13 on Blaine. What a turnaround that bit. They beat Maple Grove.
Right.
Huge upset, and really that program is turning around quickly. And by the way, they have got a outstanding scoreboard.
At Champlin Park?
Yes, a new scoreboard.
We'll be there on Thursday.
Yeah, we will, yep.
For this team, Centennial at Champlin Park on Thursday. Here on QCTV. Looking forward to that, but we still have a lot of football. Not looking ahead to next week just yet. First down after the injury timeout. It's Harper. And again, you can see what Anoka's doing now. They're having their defensive lineman dive low on Harper, and they're getting to him, and he's getting upended, and he's not getting nearly as many yards as Aaron Knapp this time. Shot the gap low. Still out of that, got 4 yards, 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, it looks like Harper's gone to the running back position, and Whiting now is the fullback.
Now they went out of the T formation, the wing T, if you will, and a quick pass out to Lee. He catches it. That's enough for a first down. So the first pass completion of the night goes to Josh Lee, his 11th reception of the season for Centennial, and it's 1st and goal for the Cougars as they're driving to try and take the lead.
What a safe cornerback was playing off, safe pass, and a good pitch and catch by receiver and thrower.
Yeah, it's Whiting and Harper. We'll call it pro set backfield with a wing on the right side. No wide receivers. 1st and goal from the 8, and it's a keeper. Cummings, nice cut. He got down to the 1. Almost made it into the end zone, but he ran into a Anoka tornado wall right at the end zone, and that tackle made by Zach Welch kept him out of the end zone. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, really nice play. Look, you've got linemen standing up in the end zone. Solid push by that offensive line again.
Long drive, long time-consuming drive. 2nd and goal at the 2 here for Centennial. It's Harper, left side, he's in, standing up, touchdown. 2-yard run for Harper, and Centennial has their first lead of the night.
That's touchdown number 12 for Harper on the season, and that whole drive was well played by Centennial. A couple of passes in there, one to Harper and one to Lee, which just took him by surprise, and that opens up that running attack, and really nice planned drive by the Cougars.
Quarterback Cummings will hold here for Caston Frace, the kicker. And it's low, and it's into the line and blocked and knocked down. And it was hit by an Anoka player. Was it not blocked by Charlie Hendrickson? Did they throw a flag for roughing the kicker or running into the kicker? But I believe the rule is that if you block the ball, that the kicker is fair game, and that's exactly what head coach Bo Wasurik is saying on the sideline, as are the other Anoka assistant coaches here on the sideline.
Yeah, the discussion, they're getting everybody away, and I think they're just trying to make sure that they have.
I thought it was right into his stomach.
Yeah, I did
like
too.
Hit him in the chest.
Yep.
Let's see if we get the replay on that. We can kind of see it, but they're going to say roughing the kicker.
Yep.
Just an extra point, but now that'll be half the distance to the goal. They might go for 2.
Yep.
I thought for sure it was a bad snap. Well, maybe he didn't.
He didn't. No.
Maybe he didn't.
It
actually hit the back of the offensive lineman.
And they are going to go for 2.
Yeah. So that will open up the 2-point opportunity here for Centennial and try to take an 8-point lead. Right now it's 6. Cummings back out there. Pro set, split backfield, everybody in tight. Two-point conversion here for Centennial. Wing on the left side, and they'll run it, and it's in. Whiting dives in this time. 2-point conversion is good. And that makes it 15-7 Centennial.
So Ty Burgoon, I saw him back out there as well. That was great to see. And this is a touchdown by Harper. Tough load to bring him down. You need more than one, and he runs in between the tackles all the time. So that's where you focus your manpower. And he slips on the outside, easy touchdown.
Well, the good news here for Anoka is that they will get the ball back here with 2:52. They're going to have to generate some offense, as they did get the ball to start the game, so Centennial will get it to start the second half. So the Tornadoes would love to get some points out of this next possession here, and it starts if they can get some good field position off the kickoff and a good return by the return man Hibbler.
He's had 2 nice returns already, and the Tornadoes can move the ball quickly. I mean, they just have that offense can get up to the line, and they can take chunks of yardage.
Kicking off is Maverick Harper, number 43. Not Face.
Face maybe hurt.
Face, it's possible. He got hit and ran into, so that's probably what happened there.
Yep.
Using our deductive reasoning, this is a line drive kick, and it's going to be a nice return out across the 35 to about the 37-yard line here for Deshane. And then he took a big hit right at the line of scrimmage, or right at the sideline, and he got his bell rung. He is sitting on the sideline here for Anoka. He knew he took a hit, and I think he's worried that he was walking okay, but I think he's worried that
somebody's going to come talk to him.
Right.
Yeah, he's there right now.
He knows, because then they go through the concussion protocol, and they check and test and everything, because that was a hit.
Yep.
Along the near sideline. So first down and 10, Tornadoes from their 34. 2:43 left to work, and they do have timeouts to work with. Padani chased, scrambling, sacked at the 30-yard line. That's Whiting, who's been everywhere, offense and defense. The defensive end, Marcus Whiting, 6'1", 220. And he chases down Padani on the sack and a loss of 4.
Yeah, and Whiting, like I said, these 3 down linemen are really good. And Whiting in back there, that's his 5th sack of the season.
Tornadoes have full allotment of timeouts. They have 3 remaining. Centennial had to take one earlier this half. Second down and 14. Padani, Cummings, misdirection near side on a trap block across the 30, 31. That's it. Then he stacked up. He got only one, and right now the Centennial Cougar team and their defense, they're playing fired up football, and right now it's Terrell Cummings who's shaken up.
Yeah, physical at the point of the attack. A little counter, like you mentioned, and ran right in to the linebacker, number 44.
Cummings went back.
Or is that Cummings? Yeah.
He kind of, his back, then he landed. He was tackled, but he also had another guy on his back, and he kind of rolled over. And he's up and walking to the Anoka sideline under his own power. As you see Coach Bo there And we've got a Centennial player also on the field. That appears to be a cramp, as the ball's going to be resting at the 31-yard line. Anoka in their own territory. Now, the other thing Anoka has to worry about, Centennial's not a big play offense, more of a ground and pound, 5-6 yards, a crack, what have you.
Yeah.
But Anoka's got to worry about giving this ball back to Centennial with all the momentum they have with time left on the clock here and a couple of timeouts.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get a chance. You've got Mac Wallace or Melvin Wallace coming off with cramps.
And he must that must be painful enough because he's limping with that cramp. So they weren't able to work it all out completely. So he's going to have to leave the game, which he would have had to anyway because of the timeout injury.
This one's going to be important. They need to get a first down, like you mentioned, Jim. This will be a you're giving it back to a team with a chance with 3 timeouts, and they could do some damage. Of course, we don't know about field goal kicking right now.
3rd and 13. Mossman with Podani, and he's to throw. Pocket collapsing, scrambling again, having to throw on the run, and pass interference at the 45. Double covered, and both defensive backs ran right into Carson Ban, knocked him down, and that will give Anoka first down. They're in business now at the Centennial 45-yard line.
Yeah, the Ringer and Lee were back there and took out Ban before the ball was halfway to him. Which 15 yards, and that'll be a first down. Not on the, it's not a spot foul, but 15 yards.
Yep, that's right. I said the 45. I'm thinking about professional football.
Yeah, that's almost a 45.
I think, though, that one of the games I was covering, it was like, 3rd down and 25, and there was a pass interference, so it's only 15 yards. I think pass interference should be automatic.
Yep.
And they've taken away the automatic first down from defensive holding as well, but I think pass interference should be automatic. Here's a screen in the middle. Mossman's got it. 50. Now he's at the 45. To the 40. Near sideline 35. To the 32-yard line. A little screen. Podani had to almost jump to get it over one of the tall defensive linemen, but a flag is down back at the 46-yard line.
I think that may be an ineligible
legal man downfield.
Ineligible receiver.
You will see that, of course, in that scenario with the screen pass. Easy to.
In the pros and college, it's a yard. It's 3 yards here, and you can see there's a lineman with palms up, wondering what happened.
Oh no, it's holding instead. Holding. That'll be a 10-yard mark off from the point of the foul, which was the 46. So that negates about a 21-yard gain.
Yeah, right there. It's a good call. Tim Ball got thrown down there. Good catch by our crew.
So that'll move it back to the 36. Tornadoes going in the wrong direction here after getting the pass interference call. But now the holding call moves them back 10. Minute 24 remaining. Down by 8 in the first half.
And they've got 3 timeouts. They've got plenty of time.
Yeah, but now you want to use the timeout. You're going to stop the clock and maybe give Centennial the ball back with more time.
Yeah.
And in at the quarterback position, David Ellis is going to throw. So Podani might have been shaken up, and Ellis fumbles the ball. It's loose at the 30-yard line, and the Tornadoes, luckily for them, able to fall on the ball and recover it. Here comes Podani back into the game.
I wonder if he lost his helmet. Steps up and it's knocked out of his hand right there. Good, and like you said, fortunate for the Tornadoes.
He was carrying that ball like the proverbial loaf of bread, as we used to say about Walter Payton. And it was out there exposed just a little bit, and it got knocked away. And luckily for the Tornadoes, able to recover. Now they're faced with a 2nd down and 24. 35 seconds left in the half. Podani, the pass. Swing pass near side, and that's going to be out of the reach for Brody Rush. Incomplete. Stops it with 30.7 left in the half.
Mav Harper out there on defense on the coverage. Cummings, and I'm pretty sure you'll see a run on this one. It'll probably be a draw or something like that, where you're not risking stopping the clock.
Third down. Beckway will be at the bottom of your screen. 3 receivers at the top. Ball in between the hash marks here for Podani. There's that misdirection handoff to Cummings, and he challenges Maverick Harper, who makes the tackle. Now, Maverick Harper, I don't think he's not a two-way starter, but now he's seeing some time on defense, and he challenged. That's running back versus running back, if you will. Now 4th down. Clock stops. 23 and a tenth of a second left, and Centennial will get the ball back here.
Hey, let's take a look at the standings. As of the end of week 5, Centennial, Maple Grove, Anoka all up on top.
Quite a log jam.
Yes.
And then there's a log jam then tied for 3rd. 4 teams at 2 and 3.
Blaine Champlin Park, St. Michael Albertville, and Coon Rapids. Good to see Coon Rapids, first year back in 6A, to see them with a couple of wins.
What's the name of their great wide receiver? I saw some of the highlights against Anoka, and he took one the distance. I think it was a punt return, but it got called back on an illegal block, but he didn't have as big of a game. It seemed almost like Coon Rapids didn't target him as much and get the ball to him as much, and certainly maybe that's a credit to Anoka's coverage and what they were doing to, hey, there we are.
Yep.
How you doing up there? Who is that?
I don't know.
25 seconds left and a punting situation.
Nobody back deep for Centennial. They're going to try to get to this one.
Frecking is the punter.
Yeah.
Who, of course, was
starting
quarterback last year to start the season, then got injured. Podani comes on the scene, lights the place on fire, and then they, Coach Wasurik said to begin this year, both Frecking and Podani would have an open tryout for quarterback. Quarterback was up for both of those. Podani wins the quarterback race, wins the tryout, and then Frecking shows up with receiver gloves the next day and says, I want to help the team at receiver, and he's been very good at that position. So a 5-yard mark off here, 4th and 24. Frecking again, he's got that rugby style punt, and this time just a couple of steps, and he blows that past Centennial as they didn't have anybody deep, and it'll roll inside the 30 to the 28. Clock running here. By the time they stop it with a change of possession, 13.5 left for Centennial. So a couple of plays here maybe for Centennial, depending on how long they take on this first one. They do have the timeout to work with.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it may be a kneel down. It looks like it. Harper's going back 7 yards deep.
Yeah. Yep, that'll end the half.
Track meet we don't have yet.
No, your prediction of the track meet. Oops.
I was wrong, yes.
It looked like it early on, but against Centennial, they take so much time off the clock with that offense and that ball control offense, and they will just hit a knee here, and bing, bang, boom, that is the end of the first half. 15-7, Centennial will take a lead. Teams head to the locker room here, and of course for us, pomp, circumstance, pageantry. It is Pumpkin Bowl 2023, so don't go anywhere. All that coverage coming up for you here on QCTV.
So the blood drive is where we have people that are coming to donate, and there's a huge need right now. There's such a shortage for blood, and the blood will be actually, when you donate, you can actually save 3 lives by doing so.
So the kids on the side of the bus, they are close family friends. They are Luke and Molly Williams.
Yeah, my grandson Luke just graduated. He was diagnosed when he was 9 months old, had a bone marrow transplant. And then when his sister was born, she was 2 years old when she was diagnosed with the same blood cancer. So we've been through this many times, and we're very lucky we have success both times. So we're very, very blessed.
This is our 6th blood drive. Almost all of them have been held here at Fifth Avenue Dental. They graciously donate the space for us to put on this blood drive. We try to do it always the first week in October if possible. It's kind of a kickoff to our many activities. It is on our website, and sometimes when we're able to, we also have it featured in the newspaper. But it's always on our website, and we have a calendar of events too. It's just heartwarming to know that people are willing to give their time and their donation for something so important.
Varsity hockey player and team captain as a senior. He was selected all-conference in both his junior and senior years. Todd was elected to the All-Metro and All-State team as a senior. Additionally, Todd earned 2 varsity letters in baseball at Anoka High School. In college, Todd played Division I hockey, the majority of his career at St. Cloud State, playing for the legendary coach Herb Brooks. After graduation, he began his teaching career and is now in his 33rd year in District 11. After his playing days ended, Todd coached hockey, football, and baseball at Anoka High School. Todd was an assistant on the 1990 and 1994 state championship football teams and the 2001 state participant team. Todd also coached 9th grade baseball at Anoka High School for 3 seasons. Todd coached varsity hockey at Anoka High School for 23 years, starting as an assistant hockey coach, including the 1990 and state tournament teams. He was the head hockey coach from 1999 until 2016. Todd led the Tornadoes to the 2003 Conference State AA Championship. Todd's 2008 team was the conference champion, and the 2016 team won the section title and competed in the state hockey tournament. Todd was the state coach of the year runner-up in 2003 and the section coach of the year in 2003, 2008, 2015, and again in 2016. In the fall of 2022, Todd was elected to the Minnesota High School Hockey Coaches Association Hall of Fame. Todd and his wife, Tammy Jo, have been married for 38 years and have 2 adult sons and 5 grandchildren. Todd teaches at Anoka Middle School for the Arts and has lived in Anoka his entire life. Congratulations to Todd Manthe, now a member of the Anoka High School Hall of Fame.
Our next Anoka Hall of Fame inductee is Jill Jungling Burkham. Jill, a 1986 Anoka High School graduate, is a 2-time Pulitzer Prize finalist for editorial writing. She's a longtime writer and editor for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. An investigative editorial entitled Not This Mine, Not This Location, which focused on copper mining's risks to the Boundary Waters Canoe Area wilderness, was recognized by the Pulitzer Board in 2020. It helped influence federal officials to enact long-term protections for this fragile, beloved watershed in northeast Minnesota. Another series called Separate and Unequal detailed dilapidated Bureau of Indian Education, BIE, schools in Minnesota and across the nation. It was a Pulitzer finalist in 2015. Jill testified before the U.S. Congress that same year about these schools' poor condition. Funds appropriated after the series ran built a new high school on the White Earth Nation in northern Minnesota. There was enough funding to clear some of the agency's construction and repair backlog to assist BIE schools in other states. Jill regularly writes about health care for the Star-Tribune. Before joining the newspaper, she worked for the Mayo Clinic and Rochester Post-Bulletin. She graduated magna cum laude from the University of Washington in 1991. In high school, Jill participated in cross country and was honored to be part of Anoka athletic legend Paula Liu's last season on the team. Jill was also on the cross country ski team and was an Anoka High newspaper editor and sports columnist. She is appreciative of the excellent education provided at Anoka High School and is particularly thankful for its talented teachers and their encouragement to consider writing as a career. She regularly uses AP English vocabulary words in her articles. Jill's parents are Kate and Willie Jungling of Anoka. Congratulations, Jill Burkham, now a member of the Anoka High School Hall of Fame.
Our next inductee is Mary Jablonski. It was Mary Jablonski's father, Cy, who taught her to swim. A former Minnesota Gopher swim team captain, Cy was instrumental in establishing Anoka's outdoor swimming pool, where Mary learned to be a competitive swimmer, winning her first medal at the first annual Anoka swim meet. Mary went on to swim for the Anoka Swim Club and the Minneapolis YWCA. She held state and national records and competed in the national championships and Olympic qualifying meet in 1968. When Anoka High School initiated a swim team in 1969, Mary competed throughout the metro area and set records in the backstroke, the butterfly, and the individual medley. After high school, Mary attended the University of Minnesota, joined the Gophers swim team, and in 1971 competed in the first ever Big Ten Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. With a victory and record time in the 50-yard butterfly, Mary became the first woman to be crowned a women's Big Ten champion. She subsequently became the first Gopher woman to attend and place in the national championships, where she won a silver medal. Mary is a member of the University of Minnesota Aquatics Hall of Fame, the Minnesota Coaches Hall of Fame, and the Minnesota Gopher Sports Hall of Fame. The editor of the Anoka Union said of Mary's induction into the Aquatics Hall of Fame, "Although it is difficult to follow footsteps in a pool of water, we are glad to see Mary following in her father's steps." Mary Jablonski and her pioneering leadership in women's athletics opened the door for thousands of other girls to enjoy the thrill of athletic competition. Accepting the award for Mary are honor students and swim team captains Lydia Lackinen, Grace Morphew, and Jordan Reitmeyer Brown.
Our next inductee is Jill Boo Wolf. Jill, a 2001 graduate of Anoka High School, was a 4-year academic letter winner with a 4.0 grade point average. She served as president of the National Honor Society and treasurer of the Student Council. She earned 4 all-conference honors and was a 4-year state qualifier in swimming. She was all-state during her junior and senior years, serving as captain her final year in helping the 200 and 400 freestyle relays break school records that stood for almost 20 years. After high school, Jill attended Denison University in Granville, Ohio, and became an 18-time All-American swimmer, helping her team finish in the top 4 at NCAAs all 4 years. She was a 3-time national champion in the 100 butterfly, a 6-time North Coast Athletic Conference champion, and a 2-time academic All-American. She graduated summa cum laude and was awarded the conference's Female Scholar Athlete of the Year. She then went on to become the Ohio Woman of the Year in 2005 as part of the NCAA Woman of the Year recognition program, chosen for academic and athletic success from all NCAA divisions in all sports. Jill was one of 5 Presidential Award recipients for Denison University in 2005 and earned an NCAA postgraduate scholarship. She was inducted into the Denison University Hall of Fame in 2016. Following her college graduation, Jill was awarded 2 Fulbright scholarships and taught English in Germany before beginning her career in education in the United States. She coached the Anoka Tornadoes for 3 years as she was teaching and earning her master's degree from the University of Minnesota. Jill has worked in education as a German teacher and also a career and college specialist for 18 years, 14 of them in the Anoka-Hennepin School District. Jill is grateful for everything the Anoka community has done for her and is proud to give back and serve as an educator. She currently lives in Ham Lake with her husband, Jake Wolf, a 2000 Anoka alum, and their 4 children. Congratulations, Jill Boo Wolf, now a member of the Anoka High School Hall of Fame.
And our final 2023 Hall of Fame inductee is Arch Pease. After graduating from Anoka High School in 1925, Arch Pease attended the University of Illinois, where he competed in football and wrestling, and graduated in 1931 with a BS degree in education. ROTC training in college led to his rank of second lieutenant in the Army. From 1940 to 1942, he was an administrative assistant to Congressman Richard P. Gale from Minnesota, leaving that post for active duty in 1942. Following his active duty, Arch taught English for 7 years in southern Illinois, followed by 3 more years of teaching in Minnesota. He left the teaching profession to become a congressional secretary and retired from the military as a full colonel in 1962. After 32 years of service, Arch put his writing skills learned as a member of the Anoka High School student newspaper staff to good use as he became part owner of the Anoka Union newspaper, working as an advertising and news person and continuing the family legacy of owning the Anoka County Union, established in 1865. In 1947, Arch became the editor of the Union and Shopper. In 1949, he took over as the sole owner of Pease Printing, and in 1951, he became the president of the Anoka County Union Shopper until its sale in 1989. Arch's public service included his election to the Anoka Township Zoning and Planning Commission, where he served for 12 years. In 1967, he was appointed by Governor Harold Levander to the State Board of Education. Arch was married to his wife Amy for over 50 years, and they had 2 children, Tom and Barb, both of whom attended Anoka High School. When Arch passed, he left behind a rich legacy of public service to the Anoka community, to the state of Minnesota, and to the entire country. Congratulations to the late Arch Pease, now a member of the Anoka High School Hall of Fame. Accepting the award for Arch is honor student Ellie Marshall. Congratulations once again to the 2023 Anoka High School Hall of Fame inductees. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 Anoka Marching Tornadoes production is titled Circus of Dreams. The show takes the audience on a journey through a fantastical circus world where anything is possible and dreams come to life. Through music, movement, and visual effects, we celebrate the magic of the circus and the power of imagination. Under the direction of Tim Hauser and Anders Rackala, along with senior drum majors Keegan May and Caden Hernandez, the Anoka Marching Tornadoes. And now please welcome the Anoka Fall Performance Dance Team. They are coached by Leah Ward and Caitlin Hendrickson. The captains are Haley Barrows, Hannah DeRungs, Madeline Holmes, and Abby Tomes. Tonight, they are dancing to Cardi B.
Cardi B brain on.
Ride with the mob, Hamdulillah. Check in with me and do your job. Hamdulillah. Check in with me and do your job. In the name, the brother to the chain. Turn off, watch, press he plain Jane.
Performance Dance Team.
Americans, there's one thing we can all agree on: the promise of our Constitution and the hope that liberty and justice is for all people. For over 100 years, the ACLU has fought on behalf of millions of Americans, protecting our vote and our voice, freedom to love who we love, the right to choose, and much more.
Learn how ACLU's defending free speech and all our civil liberties at myaclu.org.
I had to leave my baby in the hospital NICU.
If we come together, we can help every mom and baby be healthy and strong.
Join March for Babies, a mother of a movement.
Oh.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Halftime at Goodrich Field, and the Pumpkin Bowl. Centennial leads it. Anoka took the lead at 6:28 of the first quarter after an interception. They took it at the 40-yard line, went 40 yards. And the 3-yard touchdown run by Zach Welch. All started by this right here, the fumble at the 40-yard line. Recovered by the Tornadoes' number 14, Alexander, and they marched down the field. Oh, the Wildcat put Danny out of the game. And Zach Welch with the run, a 3-yarder that made it 7-0. And then back came Centennial's offense, running downhill, mostly with Maverick Harper. But it was Whiting who took it to the end zone, broke a tackle, used the shoulder pads. A 23-yard run there, was tied at 7. Then the Tornadoes marched down again. They got it to inside the 10, but here's a deflected pass across the middle, intercepted by the free safety. And that gave the ball back to Centennial, and they would march down the field. Here's the big play on 3rd down and long. The triple option toss and pitch to Burgoon. Got him inside the 20, then inside the 10, and then Maverick Harper at a big first half runs it in following the 2-point conversion. 15-7 is our score here as we get ready for the second half. And you got some other numbers there, Jim.
Yeah, total offense right now, the Anoka Tornadoes, 124, 69 through the air, 45 on the ground. So for a total of 114, and then the Centennial Cougars 156 yards on the ground, which is close to what they've done on the season. If you look at they're averaging 263 yards on the ground. So for the year, so they're a little ahead of schedule on that. Maverick Harper, 14 carries, 56 yards. Burgoon 6 for 61 and averaging over 10 yards a carry. Yeah, 2 20-yard carries, and then Frecking with, Whiting with the touchdown, but he's got 28 yards on the ground as well. So the Anoka defense has to come out. They've got to stop him right off the bat, don't you think, Jim?
Yeah, they need a stop. I mean, it's still just a one-possession game, 15-7. Anything can happen, of course. But they can't give up a long drive again and have Centennial chew 9 minutes off the clock. Because even if Centennial doesn't score there, that can be a little demoralizing. It just wears you out.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here. As we mentioned, Anoka will be kicking off. As it's going to be Luke Deshane who will boom the ball deep. And the deep man is Ty Burgoon. Centennial in the white uniforms. And here is the kick. And here's Burgoon. Scoops it up at the 10. To the 20. Angles to the far side. Got to the 25. Straight armed a tackler. And then forced out of bounds after a couple of extra yards there by Damon Murphy, the tackle special teams for Anoka. And we'll see Centennial's offense here to start the second half.
Good to see Burgoon back out there after it got nicked up in the first half on that option play. First carry, the first time that he's touched the ball since.
Here comes that Centennial offensive line. You really got to give them some credit. Brad Brown, Sam Ward, Alex Larkin, Trenton Campbell, and Alex Johnson. Big guys up front. They lead the way for this running attack, and they are on the ground to start out right away. Harper leans forward for 3. I will say this about the Anoka defense. Later on in the first half in the second quarter, Harper was not getting the same large chunks that they were getting on their earlier possessions and drives of the game. So they changed kind of what they were doing defensively as far as their scheme, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, no runs over 10 yards. 9 yards is the longest run for Harper.
2nd down, 7. Cummings to pass. Across the middle of the seam, right along the hash marks, and it's incomplete. Double teamed and double coverage there, trying to get to the tight end, Kellen Binder, who had 5 receptions coming into the game tonight. Now 3rd and 7.
Yeah, he's a big target, 6'3", and the pass just needed a little bit more air under it. Had to fit it in and really just needed to lead him.
3rd down, 7. Out of the eye, Cummings keeps. 1st down and more. Far sideline looking to cut it back. He does. He stops and starts again, then upended at the Anoka 45-yard line. What a run. 26 yards and a 1st down for the quarterback, Dalen Cummings.
We really didn't see a whole lot of Cummings running the ball. This one had it. It was an option. He just decided to keep it and goes down the sideline. Had the first down, cuts it back, and gets about 10 more yards. Solid run.
Tackle made by Luke Alexander from the Anoka 45-yard line here for the Cougars, on the ground for a gain of 3.
Yeah, nice job again by the offensive. Interior defensive line has really started to match the intensity of the Cougars.
Harper and Burgoon in the backfield. And it's Harper. Left side dive. And close to the first down, shy by a yard, 3rd and 1.
Boy, it's nice when you can give it to a running back and you just know that you're going to get 3 yards at minimum.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
I mean, it just. Yeah.
I don't see Harper ever being tackled for a loss
no.
behind the line of scrimmage, especially plays like that on the dive play and the kind of charge that their offensive line gets off the line of scrimmage. I mean, they are several, 3-4 yards downfield on some of those runs. And again, just that quick, easy dive to Harper. And it's another first down. They mark him at the 34. Opening possession here for Centennial. Opening possession for either team in the second half.
They had about an 8-minute drive for that long touchdown, that last touchdown.
First down, they go Burgoon off left tackle around the corner. Then he cuts parallel with the hash marks, tackled at the 31. Second down after a gain of 3.
Well, Burgoon, he's kind of the lightning of the lightning and thunder.
Right.
He's got speed, and he takes it to the outside. He's almost off tackle almost every run.
That was a New York Giants tandem, wasn't it? I can't remember the names of the running backs, but second down. Cummings off of the fake. Here's the keep. He's to the 21. That's a first down and a gain of 10. Now Cummings starting to get involved in the running game. We mentioned that he wasn't very involved early in this game, but now we're seeing him call his own number here at another big first down for Centennial.
Well, a lot of that is because of the Tornadoes made some adjustments, and they are clogging up that middle, and it's leaving the outside. There's really no containment out there.
Whiting and Harper in the backfield. We mentioned Maverick Harper a year ago, injured in week 2. So a lot of teams hadn't seen Harper heading this year. They didn't know who he was. And here he is. Quick, right up the middle. 10-5 touchdown. He cut it to the near side, and he's into the end zone. 22-yard run by Maverick Harper, his 12th rushing touchdown of the season. And Centennial scores on their opening possession of half number 2. That's actually his second touchdown tonight, so give him 13 for the season. Touchdown Centennial.
Yeah, they went back to that pro set with Whiting back there. Whiting scored the first touchdown, and this one, Maverick Harper with his second touchdown. And
8:17 the time of that touchdown. They're going to go for 2 again, and towards the end zone, zigzagging. Looks like he's going to be shy. It was Harper on the carry and didn't make it. So with 8:17 left, it's 21-7.
Well, a couple of key plays there, and they were both something that we hadn't seen in the first half. It was Cummings. Cummings with 2 first down runs. This one, just outstanding, and Maverick Harper just sheds that tackler. I mean, as he gets his 13, yeah. he's a load.
And he has a little bit of speed there too. He does have quality running back speed. So if he has an opening, he can run away from some guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see the orange out, if you will, the orange and black of Halloween. I'd like to look at. I'm sure there's a documentary as far as the origins of Halloween.
Yeah.
And why is orange and black? Is it because that's the color of the pumpkin? Which for me is my favorite gourd, by the way.
Is it really?
Yes, if you were to rank them, pumpkin's number 1, and then all the rest are all tied at 2.
I would like to see Jim Erickson's top 10 gourds.
Well,
I know what's 1. What would be 2?
Well, that's a good question. Is a squash a gourd? Here's Hibbler with the return, 15-20. Little hesitation still going. Flag goes down behind the play across the 30-34. But the flag dropped back at the 18-yard line, and that's usually a sign of an illegal block on that return. This might be coming back here for the Anoka Tornadoes.
Yeah, I'd like to have a percentage of how often you see a flag that goes on the receiving team. I mean, it's basically assured that it's on the receiving team. There's 2 flags down, actually.
Oh, yeah, there was one further down on the play, even further downfield than where the tackle was. So holding.
So they'll bring it back 10 yards.
Yeah, so.
Unless it was inside the 20.
Anoka needs things to happen for them here. They need things to go their way. They need some breaks, and they're not getting them right now. That'll move it back all the way to the 10-yard line. 8:06 left. Still plenty of football to be played. Plenty of time. Just a 2-score game. 21-7 in favor of the Cougars. Padani with Cummings in the backfield here for the Tornadoes in their Halloween black. It's Cummings. Makes one man miss. And then he makes his way about to the 15-yard line. Could not make that second man miss here for the Centennial Cougars. And making the tackle on the defense was Jaden Lilly. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Gain of 4 on that play. And actually it was Owen Ringen, 16, not 18, who made the tackle.
Cummings just doesn't. It's tough sledding up there. He just does not have the room to be able to accelerate.
Padani again. Here's the snap. Rolling. Swings it around to Cummings on that running back screen. Cummings gets to the 20. But again, not a lot of yardage. He fought his way for more, and I think he's got the first down off of that second effort, and he does. So just what the Tornadoes needed and wanted, they get the first down conversion. Across the 20 at the 23-yard line.
Yeah, nice play design where you go back across. You've got a screen set up. Giving Cummings. Oh.
Movement on the line of scrimmage. That'll move it back 5 yards here. False start offense. The one thing about Padani, give me Padani's numbers again, passing from the first half.
You know, he had 69 yards on and only six completions.
Here's a guy who had games of 296, 270, 253, 268.
Yep.
He's used to moving the ball with the passing game. You got to give credit to that Centennial pass rush. Padani's been running around all day, and Padani's about as good as anybody around throwing the ball on the run. But guys haven't been open. He's been forced to scramble and has been pressured all night long, and that has really affected this Anoka offense.
Yeah, you know, when you're running a dead sprint, it's much more difficult to be able to.
Cummings filling the gap in the hole is Caden Coppersmith, the linebacker. Boy, he came in and he hit Cummings hard. It was first down and 15 after the false start. Give him a yard here, 2nd down. We'll give him 2 here officially and call it 2nd and 13.
Yeah, I think we got Brody Rush in there now, the freshman.
Yeah, he came in. What game did I watch? It was the Blaine game.
Yeah.
It was the Anoka Blaine game. We had that here. Steve Thompson and Tim Anderson did a great job. And they were talking about who's this 9th grader? Where did he come from? And he has been very good. He played a lot against Maple Grove as well. Here's Padani, ready to take the snap, looking here to the near side. He's got a check down. Now he's directing traffic. He throws to that check down. Great job by Frecking. Just kind of feeling his way, and Padani finds him for a nice pickup across the 25, and they're going to mark it at the 30-yard line. Brings up 3rd down and short, just 3rd and 3.
Yeah, well, great patience, too, by Padani. He was under duress. He allowed the defense to kind of collapse on him, and Frecking was, like you mentioned, he just kind of snuck out there.
Yeah, and he was out there, and then he kind of felt his way. Okay, I can go a little deeper. I can go a little deeper. I'm not covered. And Padani found him, and it brings up a 3rd and 3. Very manageable here from their 30-yard line. Padani, good protection here. He throws it. Oh, and a diving incompletion. Oh, that was almost caught by Carson Ban at about the 40. He got a hand on it, almost brought it in with one arm.
Boy, that was a great, almost one of those great throws where you look at it and you're like, man, that's a highlight reel.
But it falls incomplete, so 4th down. And the Tornadoes forced to punt. Frecking. We see it here. Almost brought that in. If the defender isn't on him, if Will Quick isn't on him, and there's a little more separation there, Band probably catches, or at least he has a better chance to do so, as we'll get a timeout here. 4th down situation for Anoka.
Yeah, you know, we haven't seen a punt returner back or a safety deep for them. I think they're concerned about, the possibility of a fake here. I think they wanted to make sure that they've got all their bases covered.
Well, I think that is always a possibility, or at least it looks that way with the kind of rugby running punt style that we see every now and then. You've seen it some in the NFL. You've seen it at the college level. You're seeing it here at the high school level a little bit. And that's how Frecking punts the ball.
And Frecking, no stranger to having the ball in his hands. He's has done a great job. And there's one other thing. He's had a pass on a fake punt, too, which went for a touchdown.
Yeah, there have been a couple of, Padani's been throwing the ball around, but we've had some other guys. There are other guys that have attempted passes here.
Yep.
Some have been the lateral and then pass on the offensive side. Here is Frecking. He'll punt this. Boy, did he get good leg into that. And it's going to bounce and be taken at the 30, 35, and 38-yard line. Good coverage by Anoka on the return by Will Quick. And Centennial gets the ball up by 2 with 5:41 left to go, 3rd quarter. And this is must-stop territory here for Anoka.
Yeah, the game gets out of hand without a stop here. You can stop it and then score. At least you know that you've got one score to get. But it's a tall task to be able to stop this offense.
From their 38, 1st down. Quarterback Cummings will go out of the eye. You've seen them in the pro set, split backfield. Here they're back in the eye. Burgoon and Harper, the 2 backs. And it is Maverick Harper. Leans forward. And 41 as well. They'll mark a gain of 3. You talk about 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You can't say that anymore on these modern fields. So you got to say 3 yards and a cloud of rubber pellets.
There you go.
Right?
Yes, that's it.
2nd down, 7. This one's whistled dead. And we'll get the call. Flags down.
Procedure, I would imagine. Oh,
offsides defense. Okay. Somebody either encroached or lined up offsides on the defensive side. So a break for Centennial. That'll give them 5 and make it 2nd and 2.
Yeah, you don't want to make it any easier for this one. This one would be set up for a nice for a pass. You've got out on the far side.
I think that's Lee, isn't it?
Josh Lee,
top receiver, Josh Lee, coming in with 10 receptions. Cummings has been very selective. Centennial's been very selective when they pass, but this could be considered a free play on 2nd down and 2. And instead, they keep it on the ground with their money back. Harper, but he stood up, maybe a half a yard, then pushed back by the interior, that Anoka defensive line. And it looked like coming in there, Max Berglund off the tackle, number 69.
Well, you had mentioned that Duchesne had done such a great job of just cleaning up. Nice to see some of those other defensive front 7 getting in there.
3rd and a yard and a half. Cummings. Quarterback snap. Gives it to Harper, and he almost sprung it. He split the hole, then was tackled into Anoka territory at the Tornado 47-yard line, and the man who made the tackle is shaken up in the Anoka black unis. And that is number 7, Zach Anderson, who made the tackle but also slow to get up. 1st down and 10, Centennial.
He jogs off. He'll be back there. He's a good linebacker. He's 6'1", 215. He's had 2 tackles for losses so far this season.
Of course, this is Pumpkin Bowl. That means it's the final home regular season game here for Anoka. Sometimes you get it early in October. Sometimes you get it on that Wednesday or now Thursday night for 6A. And of course, a few years ago, the COVID year was actually played, which I believe would be the only time ever maybe, on actual Halloween. How fun was that? Unfortunately, the Tornadoes lost to Tino Grace that night. First down and 10, gain of 7. As this time the quarterback Cummings just keeps it, simple play. Not a lot can go wrong with that, and they get a big chunky yardage.
He's got 43 yards in the second on 3 carries so far here in the second half. And they're just piling up the yardage.
Centennial trying to win their 9th consecutive game against Anoka. They had not played the last 3 years. They were in different sub-districts. But now with the redistricting, that Metro North more resembles the old Northwest Suburban Conference plus St. Michael Albertvillers. Cummings again breaking tackles, spinning his way, showing that he too is tough to bring down, and he converts the first down.
Well, that was a option where he looked like he was wrestling with Maverick Harper to get the ball out of him.
Maverick really wanted that ball.
He wanted it, yeah.
It's the quarterback's prerogative to pull it out, right? Usually it's not the running back or the fullback that makes that call. If that is the case, that's tough.
Well, you know, they had that fumble in that first. It could have been
like a Lego my ego scenario. From the 33, 1st and 10, Centennial. Again, ball control. Here's Harper. Leans forward, always leaning forward, always getting positive yards. So impressed with him here tonight. And the ball down to the 26-yard line. Big chunky yardage on first down. Bring up second down and 3, gain of 7.
Start looking at what the record is for the amount of carries in a game, because he's got 25 right now, and we're halfway. I guess we're towards the end of the third quarter.
2nd and 3. Egan lines up in the fullback. You see him in number 43. Burgoon is behind him. Burgoon. He's got it. 20 down to the 15-yard line. Little misdirection there. And that threw Anoka's defense off just a little bit. Allows them to get that first down.
They've clogged up the middle. You can see that, and they just can't get the containment on the outside.
Lineman downfield making the block there for Centennial. Trenton Campbell clearing the way for Burgoon, and it's a first down. Down to the Anoka 15-yard. Looks like Cummings is actually looking at the play clock here. He was looking right at the scoreboard, trying to take as much time, and that's never a bad idea, even in the third quarter. There's a nice keeper. That was a great fake to Harper, and Cummings keeps, bounces outside, far sideline, and another wonderful pickup on first down. When we mean wonderful pickups, they're not getting 15 or 20 yards, but they're getting 6, 7, 8.
Yep.
This time almost 9 yards on first down, and that's really tough on a defense.
Yeah, now we're seeing a little bit more of the wishbone with 3 in the backfield.
Yeah, full house.
Yep. And you talk about a triple option. Now you can play all over the place.
I don't know, I would call this the inverse wishbone.
Yeah.
With the 2 backs in front of the tailback in the formation. They keep it on the ground. Why not? Down to the 2-yard line here for this impressive offense for Centennial. Old school.
Yeah.
It's just an old school offense. Brings you back to the days of the triple option, the wishbone, or the wing T, if you will, with the wing and the 2 split backs and the 1 split end. But they're not even splitting anybody out here. They've got everybody in tight. And again, with the 3 backs, Burgoon goes in motion. He'll set up as a wing on the left side. Under a minute left to go, third quarter, 1st and goal. Ball at the 3. Here's Harper, left side, squares up. He's tackled. Tornadoes were ready for that. A whole group of Tornadoes there and on the tackle, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, you saw Burgoon kind of motion out. Might be one of those times where you're looking for, a quick pass, and with everybody bunched in the middle there.
2nd down. Could be the final play. Keep up the middle. The sneak by Cummings. Looks like he dived in. And no signal yet. Touchdown. So the 2-yard dive by Cummings. Quarterback sneak, and it's 27-7.
Well, again, I mentioned this before. That is just a methodical drive where they used, as soon as they got past about the 25-yard line, they used the entire play clock. They had a plan going into it, and you mentioned, 6 or 7 yards on first down, and you're working with a 2nd and 3. Real easy to be able to get those first downs.
Frace, who has not missed a point after all season long. Hold from his quarterback Cummings, and it is up and good, and it's 28-7.
He just about missed one earlier tonight, but they called a penalty on that.
Yes.
on the roughing.
Yes. That
or
does
running
not count
into
as a no good. 28-7, and Centennial ball control offense. They've kept it away from Anoka, and they've been able to slow down this potent Anoka passing game. And that has been the formula here tonight for the Centennial Cougars.
You think about, amount of plays, and you'd like to run about 60 plays in a game, 60 to 70 plays in a game. So far, they've run 19 here just in the third quarter on 2 drives.
So Padani and the Anoka offense will get the ball back. Nice representation from Centennial on the opposite side of the field here at Goodrich Stadium. If you've never been here before, we're kind of in a sunken bowl. This at one time was a little pond. This is a little pond. I took the Halloween tour here in Anoka one time, and they brought us around. They were talking about some of the houses here up on the hill. I think one of them here, I think I can see it. I think it was that one right there, is supposedly haunted. And so we were kind of there talking about what happens there. Is it'll be Hibbler taking it the 20, 25, up to the 28. If anybody ever has a chance to take that the haunted tour of Anoka, it's really cool. But they were talking about how this used to be a pond. This wasn't always a football or athletic field. And then they drained it out, leveled it up, and it's been Goodrich Field for I don't know how long. I don't know what the actual establishment is. Do they have a year marker stamped stone somewhere to tell you when this stadium? I know they played it in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah. Well, probably since 48.
Yeah.
At least.
Right, exactly. Because this is, that's the other name of the stadium. It's Goodrich Field, but a lot of times it's been called the Pumpkin Bowl. My dad would take me down here. He played in the late 50s and 60s for Stan Nelson, and he would go, "That's the Pumpkin Bowl." So that's kind of fun. And of course there's the talk as Anoka's got the ball, 2nd down and 3, and a lot of talk when they were putting the turf in about moving the field up to where the high school is on the other side of 10, up 7. As this one on the ground again, 37-yard line, 3rd down and short. And that's the final play of quarter 3. Anoka's got some work to do as they trail it here 28-7. We go to the 4th. It's Pumpkin Bowl 2023 on QCTV Sports.
Join the American Legion Anoka Post for 2 nights of spooky bingo fun on the 16th and the 23rd. Wear costumes, win prizes, doors open at 5:30 p.m. and seats fill fast. Halloween buttons and mugs will also be available to buy, and food donations to ACBC Food Shelf are welcomed. You can't miss out on this long-standing Anoka Halloween tradition.
Fourth quarter, along with Jim Childs, I'm Jim Erickson. Jim and I will also be on the call. Our next football coverage on Thursday night next week, and that'll be Centennial at Champlin Park. That one is kind of shaping up to be a good matchup as well. Coming up on Thursday at Champlin Park High School with the new scoreboard. Big play here for Anoka, 3rd and 1, probably with the score the way it is, 4-down territory. Mossman, 1st down. Gets it to the 40 and a gain of 3.
Well, he's earned his pay tonight. Mossman, every carry he's had has been rough going. It's been an important one, and he's been able to gain that first down.
You really have to compliment the physicality of the Centennial Cougars. They're very physical. They are a hard-hitting team.
Yeah. They remind me a little bit of Rosemont last year.
Yes.
They just have some great athletes, and they've got that running style.
Of course, Rosemont, the runners-up last year to Maple Grove in 6A. First down and 10. Padani airing it out deep, and it is there. Caught! In traffic, Trey Borchers inside the Centennial 30 to the 26-yard line.
That was a 34-yard reception. Plenty of time for Padani. Padani puts it right on the numbers. And I tell you what, this guy is impressive.
Right back to work. Here's Mossman to the 15, gain of 11. A first down, and into the red zone go the Tornadoes, and they've got the hurry-up offense going here, first down. Padani, handoff. Mossman again is going to get dragged down. Nice job defensively for the Cougars. Caden Coppersmith was able to get a hand on his jersey and then rip him down. It'll be a loss. He's tackled in the backfield. Tackle for loss of 2.
Yeah, Coppersmith, we've called his name a couple of times tonight. Him and Tim Ball both really doing a nice job with tackling, making sure those running backs don't get past.
Of course, you mentioned Rosemont. That's a team that ended Centennial season last year. They went 8-3 in the state tournament quarterfinals in 6A. Second down and 12. Padani, fade, near corner, end zone, up for grabs. It's caught, but out of bounds. Is that number 2? Is that the tight end? Is that PJ?
Oh, that was Borchers again. Yep.
Borchers, number 8.
Centennial sent a blitz in and picked up well by the offensive line and the running back Cummings to be able to give Borchers the time. And that I don't know. The wind was pretty strong when we came in, Jim. I don't see it. The flag isn't moving much.
And the flags on top of the goalpost also are dancing a little, but not much. So the wind has really died down from earlier today. 3rd and 12. 4-down territory. Tornadoes need a touchdown. Padani looking to his left. Flushed. Runs. 15, 10. Inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. That'll be shy of the first down. They're going to put it down at the 9. It'll make it a 4th and 3 as he gains 9. And like I mentioned before, 4-down territory here for Anoka because they need 3 scores. They need a pile right now.
They certainly do. And right now, I would look for Ban has been the guy that has been on those must-catch 3rd downs.
Yeah.
Or 4th downs.
The initial mark looked like the 9. It's closer to the 10. So 4th and 4. Just inside the 10. Actually at the 9. And they have to get to the 5. So 4th and 4 for Padani.
Oh.
And here comes a flag.
Just moved a little bit too quick on.
No, delay a game.
Delay, okay.
I thought I saw movement too, but the play clock ran out. And that one hurts because it goes from 4th and 4 to 4th and 9 back to the 14-yard line. And you can see the play clock right there, 1-0. Love that zoom in feature. Good job, Tony. They might be talking to the clock. So we're going to get radio communication up here to the booth. We'll get a clock adjustment.
Added 3 seconds on.
Which is easier than an attitude adjustment. I do believe. 28-7 Centennial.
Well, big play right here.
Yeah.
This is
from the 14. The Tornadoes have any hope of coming back in this one. They need a conversion on 4th and 9. Padani, here comes the blitz. Chased out of there. He's able to scramble. Looking to the end zone. He throws to the back of the end zone. Touchdown. No, it's in or knocked away. Oh, I thought he had it. And ended up on the turf because Carson Ban was open. And either he just couldn't hold on to it or the defender knocked it out. We'll see the replay here, but Padani did a great job. Yep, right there, got knocked out. Oh, he had it, and Ban knew that he had it too.
And that was Will Clark.
Yeah, just could not hold on. Just could not hold on. So that turns it over on downs and gives the ball back to Centennial. And Bo Asurik, the head coach, might be saying that should have been completed, that he did actually control the ball and made, I guess, what you would call a football move, and he got both feet down in the end zone and still had possession. I mean, you can see Coach Bo, he's not happy about that. He thinks that's a touchdown, I think. And it was close.
Yeah, it really was.
On the replay.
Yep. He doesn't have to possess it all the way to the ground. He just, like you said, he has to make a football move.
Which I don't think they're as strict on the high school side. When it comes to a football move, just get your 2 feet down, maintain possession at that point, then you're done.
Yep.
If you lose the ball after that, it doesn't matter. We can see it right here from the end zone. There's the catch. And it's tough.
Boy.
I don't know if he had it long enough. And that's Frecking 12.
Oh, that wasn't Ban.
I thought it was
12,
Ban 17.
Yeah.
The 17 and the 12 look very similar on these black uniforms with the font. 9:03 left. Centennial gain of 4, by the way, on that first down play. 2nd down and 6. Oh, and that comes out again, very similar to the earlier fumble. And just like that one, the Tornadoes come up with the ball. Zach Welch comes out of there with the football, and the Tornadoes, they might not be done yet.
Well, Zach Welch had the recovery again. I don't know if it was a misexchanged or what, but you could see Harper looking up for watching that ball as he's getting tackled.
So Tornadoes get the ball back with 8:57 left. Like we said, there is time, but they have to strike quickly. Get to it within 4 to get it for 3 scores right now. Get it down to 2, and then you might have some hope. First down and 10, 32-yard line. On the ground for the freshman Rush. Inside the 30, battling his way for extra yards. They'll give him the 28.
Boy, he hits that fast. He does not look like a freshman out there. He's
no. And what have the coaches said? They've said he's the real deal.
Yes. Yep.
Brody Rush, just kind of exploding on the scene. They brought him up from the JV early season games and basically earned a job here on the varsity as the backup running back. He's in there now. 2nd down, 6. And that is up for grabs. 2 flags come in. There was some contact. Intended receiver was a Bickway. It's been a while since we've targeted a Bickway here in this game. And we'll see what the flag is. I'm assuming defensive pass interference, and it is against Centennial. That'll be that 15-yard penalty and a first down.
Well, somehow the Tornadoes are still in this game, and but they've got to score here. Bickway is a big part, and it looks like he's going to be singled up on the outside, on the far side. Might want to look at going to him again.
Down to the 18-yard line. There's some question as to how that is pass interference is still a 15-yarder. So
I think they
marked it down 10 at first. So ball at the 14. 8:16 left. Padani sprinting out. Plants, looks, throws. Back of the end zone again. Up for grabs. And it's caught but out of bounds. That time Borchers came down with it, but then he came down out of bounds. And He was double covered. Talk about just jump balling it underneath the crossbar there, and it was almost a touchdown, but it's incomplete. Clock stop.
Well, he was 6'2", 175. He needed everything, and just didn't have enough maroon left.
Talk about as a quarterback having faith going out to the guy. Okay, go get it, high point the ball, and make the catch, and he did. He just ran out of room on the back of the end zone. This is the CFL. He's got extra room back there, right?
True.
Are those 15-yard end zones? Here's the give to Cummings, who spins his way to the 12, maybe the 11 on 2nd and 10.
Smart play because you don't want to have a 3rd and 10. Now you've got 2 plays to get 7 yards.
Remember, this Anoka team started the season 3-0. That was their first 3-0 start since 2007. So it's been, regardless of what happens here tonight, it has been a good season, 4-1. Hoping to go 5-1 here tonight, but Centennial has been a load. And the Tornadoes need a conversion and a touchdown here quickly. And then they'll still be 2 scores down. 3rd and 8. Padani, pressure up the middle, lost the ball, it's loose. Here comes the beanbag, and looks like Centennial's got it. One of their big linemen rolled on it. Joshua O'Shea gets his hands on the ball, and Anoka has turned it on over to the Centennial Cougars.
You can see right here as Padani just got it knocked out by number 42 for Centennial. That was Coppersmith, who's been all over the place.
Yeah, he has.
O'Shea with the recovery. That line has done a good job. And turnovers now tied at 2.
Yeah, and they played a key role in this game, changing momentum. It set up Anoka's only touchdown, 40-yard drive. That was way back in the first quarter. And Centennial since then have scored 28 unanswered points. Cummings has his offense back out there off the option. He pulls it out of Harper's belly, runs it across the 30, and either he was sliding or just slipped. He came in feet first after a first down pickup of about 5 yards, 2nd down.
We'll see how Cummings, how far he will take that play clock down before he starts.
Did he slide just so the clock wouldn't stop?
I think he did, yeah.
Smart play.
Yep.
2nd down and 5.
They'll bring it down to about 10, I think, is when he starts the cadence.
Yeah, I think he slid because he thought maybe he was going to get, if he kept running, not that he was going to run out of bounds, but he'd be pushed out of bounds. So he just slid. That was just a heads-up play. Here's a cutback run. Burgoon takes it back to the middle and is going to get a first down out to the 38.
Yeah, and really experienced and well-coached team to be able to just understand, hey, listen, we don't need to get into the cadence until we get down to 10. He's got 15 seconds.
Yeah. Mike Diggins, longtime head coach. He was a longtime head coach of the girls hockey program at Centennial as well. Did that for many years. Setting the stage for some very good teams and players that Centennial had for girls hockey. Burgoon takes the toss, gains 8. And this is the big story of the game here tonight is really that Centennial able to control the ball, and Anoka never really has been able to get a stop defensively when they really needed it.
No.
They kind of needed it last time and they got the turnover, but it was still 28-7. But in those key moments earlier in the game, they just couldn't get the stop, and Centennial's rolling downhill.
Yeah, and you had mentioned it's always 2nd and manageable.
Yeah, look at 2nd and 2.
Yep.
Taking time off the clock, nearing 5 minutes left in the game. Cummings, pitch, Burgoon, he's got room, he's to the 40, down the near sideline, pushed out of bounds inside the Anoka 30-yard line. And the ball's at the 27-yard line. Nice pickup there. Gain of 27 yards here for Centennial.
Yeah, now Burgoon over 100 yards on the day.
Good 1-2 punch between him and Harper. Harper gets the tough yardage in the middle, and then Burgoon, who can run up the middle out of that I-back spot, but also the option has really been a good weapon here for Centennial as well. Cougars at the Anoka 27. Cummings again, option pitch, Burgoon spinning for a gain of 3 and then a flag down at the point of the tackle. The Tornadoes' Luke Alexander was there. Minimal pickup, but we'll sort out the flag.
What a play by Luke Alexander. I'm imagining it's a hold, but Luke Alexander shed off a block and was able to contain and bring down the running back. Pretty impressive.
Here comes our call. Personal foul, face mask. So it was on the tackle.
Probably why he went down so easy, huh?
I know somebody's got a hold of my nose. I'm going down pretty easy. So that'll push the ball deeper into the Anoka red zone. Inside the 15 to the 14. First down and 10. Right there. I don't know.
Well,
it's hard to tell what he had a grab of.
Like he had the inside of the shoulder pad.
Yeah. First and 10. Ball just inside the 15. Clock running. Cummings looking at that clock. Got a lot of the play clock to run, and I don't know, was there a clock issue? Were they not supposed to reset the play clock? I'm not sure, because I looked at the play clock. There's like 23 seconds left, and I think that's more than what should have been, and that's what the officials. Or no,
I don't think
the game clock shouldn't have been running.
No.
Yeah, they didn't crank and the game clock was running, and I don't think it should have been here at that point. They'll reset the play clock. I don't know if they'll add time. 'Cause I don't know if they crank the clock. But after a penalty, you.
Yeah, they put.
Yep,
4:57.
4:57. So yes,
19 seconds
after
back on the
after a
clock.
penalty like that, the clock does not start until the snap of the ball. We've got some of the Anoka Halloween Royal Ambassadors sitting in front of us here. I've had a hard time watching the game because of the sparkle of the lights off of their tiaras.
Yeah, you're
their
right.
crowns, if you will. First down, 10. Centennial has it again, ready to take the snap as the quarterback Cummings just inside the 15-yard line. Will pass to the end zone and to the back of the end zone for Lee off his fingertips and incomplete. Didn't have a lot of room to work with back there, but just off the fingertips, incomplete. That'll stop the clock. 4:37 here left in the fourth quarter.
That was a really nice pass by Cummings. It landed right in the hands, just like you said, just not enough real estate, but good route and exactly where the receiver wanted it.
Easily the coldest night we've had for football.
Yep.
It's taken how long to get to games that are, in the 50s or the 40s. On the ground, spinning towards the goal line for Centennial. Touchdown. Touchdown, Harper. Harper, a 14-yard run, but there's a flag down. Temperature right now here in Anoka, 47 degrees. It was muggy last week and warm to start. And it's basically been above normal each week here up until this week. That was personal foul, Anoka. It is a touchdown, 14-yard run by Harper. That's his third scoring run of the night. Shows the ability to kind of hopscotch his way through, spin around, then he got hit right there at the line.
Harper's been pretty impressive tonight. The offense has been impressive. They have willed their way on every drive.
They really have. And the offensive line deserves a lot of credit. So the extra point attempt. Caston Frace in the kick. Cummings the hold. Snap high, hold brought in. Frace delivers and connects. 35-7 Centennial.
That makes the score Centennial 35, Anoka 7.
4.5 left. This one's going to go to Centennial. Cougars are going to pulled a 5-1 on the season. And depending on what happens elsewhere in the district, they are going to be guaranteed to remain in first place. And that three-way tie that we had beginning the night, they'll drop Anoka out of their first place tie. And they'll drop to 4-2.
Good news is Anoka has a chance to going to get a winless team as of last week, next week, with going against Osseo, and then they'll be at Wayzata. That'll be a good slugfest and a good warm-up for the playoffs for the Tornadoes.
When's the last time Anoka's played Wayzata?
That's a great
recently?
question.
I don't remember it being very recent.
Nope.
And that's a cross sub-district game. Wayzata is not in the Metro North. They're in one of the other Metro sub-districts. And then you see Centennial at Champlain Park next week, Thursday night. We'll have that for you here on QCTV. It'll be the Jim and Jim show again.
And then we'll get a really interesting matchup. Rosemont travels to Centennial.
Yeah.
That will be a solid
matchup.
matchup.
A rematch of last year's state quarterfinal.
Quarterfinals, yep.
That Rosemont won 27-0. Centennial trying to win their second Pumpkin Bowl, the second in recent memory. They won here in 2015. Here's the phrase kick, and he was trying to split the uprights with that. They moved it up because of the penalty, and he booted that from the 40-yard line. And it ends up being a touchback in the end zone. No time off the clock. 4.5 remaining here in Pumpkin Bowl number 75.
We'll see if with 4:30 left, let's see if we get a couple of underclassmen in there.
Yeah, I would say, on Pumpkin Bowl night, you might see that. Looks like the starting offensive line is coming out. PJ Wasurik is out there at the tight end, but Danny's still in there at quarterback. First down and 10 from the 20 for the Anoka Tornadoes. Snap, Padani swings it out on the flat. Mossman with the catch. Out of bounds. Minimal pickup on the play. 6 seconds ticked off the clock here.
Padani's got some nice touch to his passes.
He really does.
You see some quarterbacks who just think they need to throw it through somebody. He throws it to a spot. He's got nice touch. He knows how to put air under it.
Yeah, he can drop it. Yep. He can drop it. Drop it like a dime, if you will. Put it up over defenders and then drop it into a spot for his receivers. He gets a handoff here. Second down and 10. Padani gives it up. As Anoka keeps it on the ground, it'll bring up a third down and long. Looks like it was Mossman again. And a gain of 3, and a Centennial player is down. It was Cummings, not Mossman, on that carry, and Centennial will get a timeout with the injury.
Jim, player of the game.
Who is it?
Well, it's a guy who scored three touchdowns, Maverick Harper. Close to 30 carries tonight, over 100 yards, and really tough running. Here's a 23-yard touchdown. His second touchdown of the night, and really kind of sealed the deal for the Centennial Cougars as they went up by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, heck of a running back, and when you think about it, the 2 losses here for Anoka, they've lost to 2 teams with dominant running games. They had Langama from Maple Grove, who was so strong and had a wonderful game here a couple of weeks ago, and then here tonight, the Centennial running game with not just Harper, but of course Burgoon, and don't forget about the quarterback Cummings and what he has done in the running game as well.
Yeah, well over 50 yards in the second half only, so there's a chance to see the Pumpkin Bowl trophy, which they don't get to keep. They keep it here.
But they get their name on it.
They get their name on it.
I was wondering about that. I thought maybe the school got to put it in their, the Victoria school got to put it in their trophy case until like the beginning of the next football season or something, and then it comes back here and then on display up for grabs.
Yeah, I think it's delicate enough where I don't think they want to try.
Right, yeah. It's an artifact. Yeah. It's an historic artifact, certainly.
It certainly is, yeah.
3rd and 7 after the injury. Player able to make his way over to the sideline for Centennial. Padani throws right on the money. Caught. Ibikwe. And he's out to the 40-yard line. Gain of 17, and it gets the Tornadoes a first down. Under 4 remaining now in the game.
Well, I tell you what, why would you not want to get it into his hands more? He is a dynamic receiver.
Perfect slant pattern, too, and he put it right on his hands. Padani to throw again. Orange sleeves and all. Airs it out deep for Borchers, and it's just a bit short and underthrown. Centennial's Evan Just was there on the coverage with some help from the safety as well. Incomplete. 2nd and 10.
You know, Evan Just and Will Clark, both the two cornerbacks, have done just an outstanding job of really marking the best receivers from Anoka and really not allowing them to have an uncontested catch.
40-yard line for the Tornadoes. Swing pass with some lead blockers. Caught. Frecking. And he's able to angle, twist his way to the 43. Gain of 3. 3rd and 7.
Frecking's been kind of the Swiss Army knife. He's been in the backfield out on the perimeter.
Podani. Misdirection handoff on 3rd down, and maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Mossman. 4th down. Actually from the 43 back to the 42, loss of a yard. 4th and 8.
About 3 minutes left. These are good. I don't want to say character building, but good time to get your 2-minute offense rolling.
Padani throw right to the border. Beautiful play to Borchers. And he gets a first down. Gain of 9. Nice route run. The out to Borchers, and the ball perfectly placed by Padani. That's been his calling card, and that play there, he got time, and he was able to put it right on the money. But that's been the issue here tonight. He hasn't had a lot of time. He's been running around because of the Centennial pass rush, which has been another key here tonight for this Cougar team in building the 35-7 lead and slowing down the Anoka passing game. Padani throws deep. Borchers again goes up, and it ends up, looked like it was in Borchers' arms, and it was in the defender's arms. The defensive back had it in his arms. It ends up landing incomplete down on the turf.
Well, it was a double move.
Was it Owen Ringen, number 16 here? He's the safety coming across. They both had a stab at it.
Yeah. It was basically the same route that Borchers had run previously, but then he turned it up, and he, for a second there, he was open, but good close time by the safety.
2nd and 10, Anoka, 2:48 left. Incomplete pass, stops the clock. 3 wide receivers bunched up at the top of your screen as Podani rolls, looking to throw, back pedals to create some space, throws it down the sideline, hits the turf, incomplete. Now 3rd down.
He was surrounded by white jerseys and was going to get buried at the 39-yard line. If he did not get rid of that, that would have been a loss of about 16.
Padani again buying time, throws it down the seam. It's caught and down the sideline. Frecking, touchdown. That's going to be 47 yards. Great job by Padani. Boy, he danced around in the pocket, able to create space and time, and then he finds Frecking 47 yards.
Yeah, Frecking did a great job, too, of being able to turn it up. I think we've got Borchards there, the route on Borchards, and he able to just get it past Ball. And Borchards waiting there to block. Frecking, very nice pass play.
Padani going for 2. He's got time. Fires it. Sideline end zone, 2-point conversion.
It's Carson Ban, isn't it?
Yeah, Ban. So Ban, 2 points. And it's 35-15. It's a 20-point game, 2:28 left to go. You know, I had kind of relinquished the game to Centennial a couple of minutes ago at 35-0, or excuse me, at 35-7, but now 35-15. It's a 3-score game still. A lot has to happen here for Anoka to get back into this game, but stranger things has happened, and certainly that touchdown at least gives them some hope and gave him some nice things to be excited about going into next week. And Padani did a great job. You see how he looked off the defensive backs, and then he knew he had Ban right there and fired it really were the only place where he could have caught it and kept it away from the defense right along the boundary, Jim.
Yeah, I think that he was going there the whole time. And like you said, he was able to look off Evan Just, who was fairly close, and then just turned and rifled a strike, and Ban gets that 1 foot down.
DeShane will kick. Centennial is thinking onside here.
Carson Ban, that's the Ban family name, has been running through athletics over, seems like forever here in Anoka.
And let's see what DeShane does here on the kick. It's down the sideline, and Centennial finds it, and they recover it. Protecting that ball like a Fabergé egg, Tyson Bouch over on that far side recovers the ball.
It was a good one.
And it's at the 43, and that's where Centennial will take over with 2:26 remaining here in the Pumpkin Bowl.
Let's take a look at the upcoming broadcast schedule, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Okay,
no.
Good. Volleyball coming up on Monday, Hutchinson at Anoka. You've got football, get 2 games next week. We'll be Centennial in Champlain Park. We'll be there, and I'll be at Sauk Rapids Rice against the Andover. That'll be a good Section 7 battle.
I haven't seen the Huskies this year. How have they been?
They are electric on offense, as usual. They have, they're playing St. Francis tonight.
Right, up at St. Francis.
Yep.
Little trek up Round Lake Boulevard or up Hanson there, 14 or whatever county that is. Easy drive. You don't realize how close Andover and St. Francis are. It's not very far. Basically, it's the next district to the north.
Yeah, Andover's looked good this year. They their one loss was to Mankato West, which is a juggernaut.
Runner-up last year to Elk River. 2nd and 6 for Centennial. Man in motion. As you might imagine, they keep it on the ground here. Gain of a yard. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Brody McNamara now in at quarterback.
Yep, so subbing down here with the 35-15 20-point lead for Centennial. Brody McNamara, 165-pound, 5'10" junior backup quarterback. Cummings played well at quarterback. They managed thing. They had a couple of fumbles. Both teams with a couple of turnovers.
It's a jet sweep.
Good call. That's exactly what they did right there, and they handed it off to the man who split wide right, Noel Sig, and Sig takes it for a first down. Nope, shy. 50-yard line, timeout Anoka. It'll bring up 4th down.
that play, that formation, we hadn't seen it all during this game, and it's one of their key plays that they've used in the past, especially against St. Michael Albertville.
We have a fan of the game tonight? Yeah. New feature here. Which one of those four is the fan of the night, though? That's the question. Who gets the prize package? Right? I don't think they're eligible.
Nope, I don't think so. Although I think you and I would look pretty good in those butterfly tiaras.
Is that what those are?
Antennas? I don't know. Maybe antennas. And
so 4th down, Anoka calls a timeout. They're going to try to get the ball back here. 4th and 3. Ball right at the 50 for Centennial. McNamara, they'll give on that jet sweep again. Brock Burgraff, 1st down, far sideline, pushed out of bounds inside the Anoka 40 to about the Anoka 35-yard line. It's a gain of 15, and that gets Centennial the 1st down with 38.4 remaining in the game.
Yeah, Burgraff has, quite a bit, has been in there. 6 carries so far. He's got 2 receptions as well.
Burgraff goes in motion again. This handoff goes to the running back right side, and Caleb Melzer sees a nice opening off right tackle. Gain of close to 10. I think they'll give him 9, maybe 8. See where they put it down inside the 30. They'll put it at the 26. That is a gain of 9, 2nd and 1. And this will be the last play right here. Last play of tonight's game. Handoff this time goes to Brady Haffeman, and he gets a 1st down. That'll stop the clock with 6.8 left. But they'll start it once the chains get set, and this game is going to go final. Pumpkin Bowl 2023 here in Anoka goes to the visiting team. The Centennial Cougars improve to 5-1 on the season. Anoka falls to 4-2. Final 35-15 tonight in favor of Centennial. Jim, your final thoughts?
You know what? Centennial is going to be a rough out in the playoffs. They are so good offensively and control both lines of scrimmage tonight. And Anoka, they've got to figure out a way to stop a hard running team like this. But it'll be interesting. Both teams solid in the top 10 and not getting out of the top 10 anytime soon.
Yep, no doubt about that. Centennial number 7, Anoka number 9 in the rankings. Centennial at Champlin Park Thursday here on QCTV. Anoka goes to Osseo also on Thursday night. For everybody in the truck, there is the trophy. Pumpkin Bowl in the books, but plenty of fun Halloween festivities and celebrations the rest of the month here in the Hollywood capital, or the Halloween capital of the world. Jim Childs, everybody in the truck, all of our crew battling through a 40-degree night for the first time here of the season. I'm Jim Erickson. Again, the final here tonight from Anoka. Centennial 35, Anoka 15. Good night, everybody. You've been watching high school sports and high school football in the Pumpkin Bowl on QCTV.